Oh, yeah. Okay, everyone. Hopefully everyone can hear me now. Welcome to the secondary show, which is not so every other alternating week. I'm going to be doing this solo without my co-host Ed, just to keep things interesting, and it'll also keep things fresh for Ed and I, so that we can keep that audio podcast going. But the focus of this show, which I originally wanted to call this 10 ton after one, which was, I had the great idea of, after a session here, jumping on live. And it was usually because I get done playing, pretty late at night. Like last night, it was 2 a.m. and then jumping on live. But that's obviously not going to happen because I don't think anyone would ever be on watching. So this is going to be the show. My goal and my focus for this is to really involve I just want to grow the game and get more players to the game. And, in the past 2 years of the podcast, I've noticed there's a lot of thriving little scenes and communities across the country, which I'm personally super interested in. For example, like we've got Seattle. I talked to BRB in up in New England today, and then we've got Tampa, all these little areas. And I just want to highlight them and use this time to highlight them, talk to players specifically about practice, how they're practicing, what they're doing, how they're learning the game, how they're getting better. It's the stuff that I'm just really interested in. And I love seeing like practice setups, and hopefully tonight we're going to have Two Seam on, and I don't know where he is, but hopefully he'll figure it out and get on. And because I've got pictures of his rig that I want to go through. It's really cool. And then every week I'm going to highlight someone, because you've sent in so many good photos and good pictures, and it just reminds me of when I was playing and when I was trying to figure out, when I was just coming out to Vegas every like 6 months, and then every 2 months, and then every month, and what I had to practice with, which would probably, I should get some pictures of that, because it's amazing that I even, it's pretty funny. You'll see it. But anyway, we're going to have a lot of growing pains with this show, especially just me figuring everything out, because this is literally show number 3 for me. And, but I think I have high hopes for this and high expectations that it'll be pretty cool. But so this week in Vegas, while I'm waiting on Two Seam, paging Two Seam to join. And if he doesn't join, I'm going to skip gears and we're going to go up to and talk to Double Deuce and John from Pro Craps about Seattle, which will be I'm stoked about. But let me just check this chat right now. Bootlegger, H2O guy, T-Was, Mad Hatter, Mudslide. Yeah, G-Dub. Oh, here. Yeah, great. Huggy Bear. Oh, cool. Moonshine. So, yeah, thanks a lot for everyone for just for sort of bearing with me as I sort of get my footing on this, but and really kind of figure out some of this technology. But it was this past week here in Vegas. It was Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year, and I actually have some photos, because this is one of the best times for the lobbies. So the lobbies in Vegas, Aria specifically and Bellagio, I think they do the celebrations great with Big Dragon. So let me just show you this stuff here. We got some movies. Let me add this to it so you can get a view of what they did and what I get to see all the time. So that's the lobby from Aria. Let me see this. This lobby's beautiful, actually. It's one of my favorite lobbies. I love walking into Aria, and they change this up every couple months, every season that something happens. Like for F1, they had racing cars in it. And hopefully, ETG, is everything good with sound? There's another one. ETG was kind enough to go take these earlier today. I'm going to move into Bellagio right now, actually. I know this is still Aria, but they just opened a new restaurant there next to Catch. It's an Indian restaurant. I haven't been to it yet. But check this out. This is Bellagio. Yeah, Bellagio always knows how to do it right. Really cool lobbies in there. I think we're going to... Okay, I think I'm going to go into, you know what? The original plan was to have two CMON. That's not happening. That's not happening right now. So we're going to go up to Seattle. And I guess this is how these are going to go. We're just going to kind of wing it. But we're going to go up to Seattle and talk to Double Deuce about the scene, which is going to be great. Yo, Double Deuce, let me get rid of this. Can you hear me, my man? Double Deuce, can you hear me? I can't hear you. I can't hear you, though. I'm going to have ETG try to troubleshoot this, though. Man. How about now? Can you? Oh, man. No, I think his connection might suck. All right. Double Deuce, we're going to let you figure that out. I'm just going to be flying by the seat of my pants right now. Yeah, Crapstock. So Crapstock, I'll see you soon. I know you stay at Aria. Aria is a beautiful place. It is absolutely beautiful. And I've said this before, when we did that Frankenstein craps show, I said that that's one of my favorite places to actually play. I think the crews are the best, and it's got the most tables out of anywhere in Vegas. Let me see if Ian's set right now. Although Bellagio is beautiful, that floral, yeah, no, let me try him right now. I think I got you, Ian.
Can you hear me now?
Are you good? Yeah, I can hear you now. Finally, man.
I'm good.
Yeah, and you've got a little.
Yeah,
I know you got a little delay.
I'm the guy that's. Yeah, is that me?
I think we got a little. Yeah, you got a little delay going on, but you know what? I guess you know what I've learned. I'm a control freak, and that's why I have that audio podcast. And this is out of my control. Everything about a live show is out of my control. So I'm learning to give up control. Oh yeah, send John the link.
I'm gonna
for sure.
try to hotspot it.
Hey,
Okay.
listen, man, you hot pot it too. We'll figure it out, okay? All right, listen, we're dumping this guy. Ian, I love you. He's going to come back. But check this out. Little Vegas cam. It's been cold in Vegas right now. Super cold for the last week as far as Vegas
See
goes.
if this one works better.
All right, let's do it, man. Ian, what do you got? Yeah, once John gets in, yeah. Oh, hey, Ian. Hold on. Hell yeah. Hey, John, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, dude. What is up with the other guy?
Ian's got that dime store internet going on over there in Seattle.
Man.
I don't know what the hell's going on.
John, thanks for jumping in, dude.
No problem, dude.
Yeah,
Always.
I know. He's, you know what? I think Ian, I don't know where he is. He said he was at his vacation,
spot.
He's
out on Anderson. He's out on Anderson Island, where the internet comes via the dodo bird. I think, right, Ian? There's a.
You talking shit about my vacation?
I love your
house?
vacation home, but the I'm guessing internet out there is not the greatest. And he froze up.
Man,
the greatest looking. At least he looks happy.
Yeah, John. Yeah, at least he does look happy. So,
right.
Well, hey, so John, check it out, man. I wanted to.
Are you no?
Man, I guess we're just gonna let you just like hang out in the middle, Ian.
Right.
Frozen.
Let John do it. Let John do it. Shit.
I mean, you know all the
man.
people up here, Ian, right? You're the connective tissue of the Seattle group, right? That's kind of how this works.
Yeah,
I'm just there for the
Yeah,
I'm just there for the views, you know.
The problem is Mr. Microsoft over here can't figure out how to do it.
Well, hopefully, so John, hopefully
Yeah.
Ian can sort that out. But when you said he's the connective tissue, what is going on in the Seattle scene? Because he mentioned to me that there's like over 300 players, and see, I think this is important. I really enjoyed talking to you specifically about all the casinos that were up there, what it's like to be playing craps there, and then I ended up talking to obviously X-Man, who's from there, and then also my good friend Mincash, who's a poker player, and he's the guy that would tell me about playing cash games at Muckleshoot, right?
Yeah. There's cash games everywhere. That's the one thing about Washington is that if you're a poker player, so I think I said this last time we were on, you've got like big casinos, they're more like resorts now. They actually have hotels, most of them, where it's the full experience. But in every town, there's these strip mall casinos, and they're all like, they call them poker rooms.
Yeah.
And so because they're not tribal, anybody can open one up. I think you have to have like $6 million stake, whatever it is, to open one up. But it has to have a poker table, and it can have no more than 9 other tables, and it must serve food and alcohol. That's kind of the rule. So there's these little dinky strip mall poker rooms everywhere, and you go in there, and there's a lineup to go play poker. It's a cash game, and of course you can play blackjack and 3-card poker and a bunch of dumb games.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are everywhere. So yeah, poker players do well out here because you can play in every single town. Craps, you got to drive. Like I'm 2.5 hours from the closest one.
Dude, I just put this comment up from Ed. Had to. There went the damn show. Yeah. Hey, listen, man. Ed, things. I'm sure Ed's just cracking up, going, "Oh man, yeah, this is what happens."
Yep.
But John, it reminded me of when I was in Michigan and I had to go to these charity card rooms. I was so
Yeah.
stoked to play in Grand Rapids, and it's like it's in a strip mall, and then you got a
Mhm.
few tables, and it was just like one of the worst
Yeah.
experiences ever as far as poker goes. But
It's
Ian,
not great. It's not great, but it's there, you know.
yeah. So, all right, let's get this. Let's give me the lay of the land though, as far as the crap scene, and hopefully your
Sure.
partner in crime, his internet connection is okay, because I know
Are you
he's
good,
got a
Ian?
lot. Ian, can you hear? Is everything good?
We got the gerbils in the background running. We got the gerbils in the background running.
Oh
I
my
got
God.
a little dog eating
Nope.
running, trying to get that internet going from T-Mobile. Quality.
Man. This-
Yep. Can you guys hear me at all?
yeah,
Yeah.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Brutal.
I mean, it is. It's not the smoothest thing, man. You know, we'll see. John.
Yeah.
It's never been this bad.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Listen, so John.
Yeah.
John. So who's in charge up there, or who's sort of like, who started this whole thing? Was it this guy in the middle?
No, I think actually this guy named Craig, I'm not going to give last names out, but there's a guy named Craig who started a Facebook group called Craps in Washington State Tribal Casinos. That's the name of the Facebook group. That's what Ian was saying. It's got like 300 and some people in that group. So him and Gina, a woman named Gina, they both kind of run the group, and they're just, you know, two of the best people, and two of the they love craps. So they're every day. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there, and they're kind of like just kind of laying out where they're going to go each night. And Gina plays probably 4 nights a week. You know, Craig is a weekend guy, and he travels. He travels all across the country for his job. So he's always playing at other places and kind of putting out pictures and videos and that kind of stuff. But when we get together, so you'll play with them, and they'll just be at the casino just randomly. But Ian will probably monthly put together a call to action to the group, because he's got some good connections at the casinos, and he'll get us a private table, put it to the group. Hey, we're all going to be at Snoqualmie or Muckleshoot or whatever on the 31st from 4 to 8, $10 game, private table for the group. Here comes 40 people around one table.
Oh, sweet.
And that's what it is. So, and they're very tight. It's a tight group. You got some good shooters in there. You've got some really cool people that we just hang and talk. Yeah, we've made some really good friends through it, which is great.
When you guys do this, and I don't know, you know what? But maybe Ian will hear the dog. That's Ian's dog or your dog?
Yeah, it's his dog. Yeah, he's got 2 little yipper yappers. Yeah.
Oh man, right? Well, at least we can hear them.
Yep.
So,
all
right.
There he goes. Yeah.
You're funny. You're funny.
Yeah.
You're funny.
There they are. See, I told you.
So
lap dogs. Yep.
Okay.
And as long as if you can chime
in on my lap,
man, if you could just chime in, that would be great. But if not, I'm just gonna
roll.
Well, John will know.
Yeah.
So Ian, are you sort of do you coordinate these games, and how do these games go?
Yeah. So basically, I'm the guy that kind of just reach out to the local casino by my house, and just said,
it's tough.
Hey, we're looking for a private table. This was a while ago.
Hey, John.
Yep.
Yeah. So the first PNW meetup was a while ago, and so we just got the connection with a casino. Was it 2 years ago, John, or 3 years ago?
It was. I think it was 2 summers ago. Yeah, 2 summers.
So, anyways, so Craig, John, his Facebook. So Craig had created this Facebook and really started the community of craps in the Northwest, because it's not just the guys in Seattle. There's guys that are south. John knows we had a guy that played out of Spirit, which is in the middle of nowhere in Oregon. That is part of the group, right?
Yep.
And so what we do is we decided
You keep
Hey,
cutting
John,
out.
you getting all that?
Casinos after
Yeah,
Friday. And
every third word I'm
those
getting.
is
Yeah.
Tulalip. At the time, it was right by John and our house, and we lived by each other. It's about weren't really receptive to us having a private table. And so we got hooked up with Snoqualmie Casino, which is 32 miles or something like that. I think it's exit 30 or 32 from downtown Seattle. And they just built a hotel to go on top of it. They have 4 tables. But what's really been the way to build the community, Tenton, is first it was John using his channel to bring guys like Jeremy and Alfredo from Texas Crap Shooters into town. And that's when it created this buzz around what we're doing. And so what's happened now is, like John said, I try to do it once a month or at least once every other month. Yeah, Craig, there's no phone number, Craig. So, for us to be able to truly grow it, is we expanded it out. We really have now, and Craig does a great job. I'll post something on the Facebook, and Craig immediately, as the administrator, creates a list that says, are you coming?
Hey, John.
Yes, sir.
You're not coming, or you don't know. And so we can kind of.
Hey, John, Ian,
Sorry,
listen,
guys.
You know what? I love you, man. I do. You're fantastic.
Never happens.
Love your butt, right?
But guess what? This conversation is too good to have it all messed up with a bad connection, because what you have to say is important. I was looking forward to it, but wherever you are,
I've owned this house. So
he's still talking. Yeah.
Yeah, he doesn't even know. So listen, Ian, you're going back to the green room, dude. The time it's been a pleasure, man. John.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll pick it up for him.
Hell yeah, man.
So the story goes like this. So of course, Ian and I met kind of randomly, way back. So I was doing a show during COVID, right? And he saw the Seahawks thing behind me, and he's like, "Oh, dude, you live in Seattle?" So that's how we got together. We decided with Jeremy from Color Up. Jeremy was doing this thing where he was trying to do like a regional meetup multiple times a year.
Yeah.
And nobody, of course, took him up on it. So we said, "Hey, let's do it. Let's just, let's host it." So Ian and I, he's Ian, by the way, you would never know from his connection tonight, but he's a fantastic business person and salesperson. He's got the gift of gab, as you well know. The guy makes a phone call and stuff just kind of happens, right? So he called a couple of casinos, got us private tables. We invited Jeremy out, and Alfredo from Texas Crap Shooters and a bunch of others just came to Seattle, and we did this weekend of craps, which was fantastic. And that's how really Ian and I got connected with the group that's run by Craig and Gina and Holly and some others.
That's a big group, man.
It was really cool. And the thing about Seattle though is this: unlike Vegas, where you can casino hop in Vegas, in Biloxi you can do it with a car, but it's not terribly difficult. Atlantic City, of course, you can if you put your bulletproof vest on. Out here, you have to make a commitment, because you go to like Tulalip, one of our favorites. Yeah. Well, from Tulalip to the next closest casino, they have like a sister casino that's like 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
But the next closest one is another 25 minutes up the road.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the next and then you got to drive an hour and a half the other way. So where you go, you kind of are, which it makes it different. So our trips to the casinos are destination trips. We just go, we meet up, we say we're going to go. Dude. Everybody goes, and you're locked in.
Well, John, it's like playing poker in, I always talk about playing poker in LA versus playing poker in Vegas, and why Vegas is so much better than LA. It's like, well, if I had to drive and play a tournament at Commerce, I mean, dude, you're locked in there. you're going to spend 45 minutes driving from my place, and I live in the in the heart, like right there on I live there, Wilshire and Crescent Heights, right? So it's going to take me 45 minutes, maybe longer, just to get down there, and then you are stuck there. Like there's nothing else for you to do. You can't. I mean, you can hop over to the bicycle casino, but if you wanted to go to Hustler, it's all the way. That's another hour. That's why Vegas is wonderful, especially for any game, for poker, but especially obviously for craps, because you are not landlocked. You can just go so many different spots.
Right. So if I drive, for example, if I drive from here to a town called Yakima, which is about 2 hours and 15 minutes from my house, right? And Spokane's about 2 hours the other way. Both of those cities have one casino, one Indian casino. That's it. And Yakima's got one craps table. So when I jump in there, if it's full, I'm not playing. Like there's nowhere to go. You can't just walk out. You can't really wait. You just wait.
Right.
And unfortunately, you get that position where you're watching the rail and like, okay, let's see when this guy who's got $83 runs out of money. And then you're kind of, jumping into his grave. That's what it's like, so they're good, but there's also that piece of it that makes it hard. So the guys who play and the gals who play with us are really dedicated and love this game. And it makes it so much more fun to play with them.
So John, when you guys all decide, and this would be a question for Ian, like where you're going to meet up, where is it always the same spot, or is it, or generally, or do you guys alternate?
So it depends. Oftentimes somebody was posting in a group, hey, I'm going to be at the Lip tonight, or we're going to go to Angel or whatever casino. And then people will go, okay, cool, I'll meet you up there in an hour. And that's kind of how it is. For the real meetups that Ian organizes, it's almost always done at Snoqualmie, because that's where his buddy is, who runs the pit. So he can make a phone call.
And dude, that is like, is that quote unquote the nicest place out there?
In my opinion, no question.
Okay.
No question.
That's what I thought.
They've all got personality, right?
Yeah,
like Tulalip is known. Yeah. So the Lip is known for being big. It's very Vegas-like. They got good food up there, really good food up there, actually, but it's kind of far away. Christmas time, they do this great light thing. Snoqualmie is kind of, if you understand how Washington is laid out, it's pretty like hilly on the Seattle side.
Yeah.
Big ass mountain. Over the mountain is where I live, right? It's super flat. Snoqualmie is on the way up the mountain. So the casino is nestled in. And
that's sweet.
You look outside, there's these big ass Snoqualmie falls that are amazing. Mountains everywhere, snow-capped shit everywhere. It's like you could get stuck outside and not play for an hour.
I should have, if I knew that we were going to like not have Ian on here, I would have had some pictures of that, because I remember when we did that interview, when we interviewed you, I remember doing a lot of research for that, and it looked beautiful.
It's super cool. It's better now. They've actually upgraded everything. The inside of that place looks like a big ass log cabin. Like there's like 6 foot square timbers across, and the ceiling's like 1 million feet tall. Most casinos you look up and it's like smoke stained ceilings. Yeah. This is like a giant A-frame. It's amazing in there.
Yeah. And it looked really cool. It's super cool. So if you guys are all going up there then, and I'll get to something when I start meeting up. Like last night, I met up with a couple people. I'm trying to keep them super small, so that just because by nature of having such a big meetup, it's really, I want to be able to shoot, and you can it becomes this thing where it's like you want to do something good and you want to have a meetup, but then all of a sudden more than 6 people or more than 7 people, you're almost sort of eliminating yourself from possibly shooting.
You kind of are.
And then it becomes something that I hate. Like last night, and I'm going to hopefully have Bump John on later. I met up with him and Mr. Pressett from AC, and a guy named Justice. And the 4 of us, we met up at Paris. And I told Bump John at the end, and Mr. Pressett, I'm like, this is why, like, we have to come here later, because even at 10:30, there were still too many people. The original Ferret was there, John. The OG Ferret.
The OG Ferret. That story was fantastic.
But he scurried up to the table last night. Like I've actually kind of becoming friends with the original Ferret, John. Like he was staring at me. We've actually had words. I'm thinking about bringing some like little food that I could hand him.
Like a treat, like a treat. Here, go,
Yeah,
go,
I should
go,
bring
go
him food,
chase.
and then he could be eating out of my hand a little bit every time I see him at Paris. And I tell
Oh
you,
my
man,
God,
but
that's
this
awesome.
guy, like
That's
seriously,
awesome.
this guy though, I mean, he actually, I did have a like, he actually couldn't believe it. Like I actually, he did something that I thought was
Yeah.
smart. He actually, and I complimented him. So you know, they're like
That's great.
inroads with the original ferret, and I have like so
That's too
slowly.
funny.
It's kind of like when you see a stray animal, you know, and you just try to like here, you know, become friends with it, so it doesn't bite you. But yeah.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
But
yeah,
so the moral of the story, we got back, we were reviewing the night, and I'm like, dude, we cannot go out. We have to go out later. We have to get to these tables
Mhm.
at midnight. So then it'll be a pleasant experience. And then I know I'm going to shoot, you know,
Right.
you just kind of can time it really well. But if you have a lot of people and you're there at like meeting up at 8 o'clock, dude, it's not
Yeah,
going
and
to
our
be that
meetups-
way.
So what Ian's been doing for us, which it's worked out well. He's made them like, you know, Saturdays or whatever, but he's like 4 to 7 or 4 to 8 is the private table. So we get there, we have our table, and there's between 18 and 25 people depending, which is too many for one table, obviously. People are good about getting around it, getting their shot in and walking away, and somebody else kind of takes in. There's a lot of give and take there, but there's other tables there as well. They have 3 other tables or 2 other tables. So guys and gals will jump in and out of other tables and get their game on with each other, not at the private one, but it's really, we're all there. And then we go to dinner, and, you know, there's random people from our group just eating at the restaurant, and just kind of grab a table with them. So it becomes more of a hangout. And it's because the game is not good. You can't play for the full 6 hours or whatever, because you just not in the room.
Yeah, which is a little different, very different in Vegas. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
it kind of, it's a bummer what's going on at Paris, because with Paris now, there are only 3 tables open during
Seriously.
the week. It's 2, and then at night that you know, this other table with the ATS opens up, and then only on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday do they open up that 4th table. It's a shame. Those tables were good. You know,
They're great. They used to be great. Are they still good tables? They were great before.
I mean, I
love
think
those
they're
tables.
they're not bad. I mean, I really like those 2. The one that isn't open, that's only open on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday now. I mean, that's my favorite table, and then the one right near it, it's my second favorite. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that some of those places are in Vegas are sort of like shrinking, like Horseshoe, like getting rid of tables, which is
it's too bad, because they were the best tables in town. Back when it was Bally's.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, a long time. Yeah, a few years ago. But you know, now you've got other places like Palms, which is like they're all about increasing tables. And when I bumped into, when I was at the Super Bowl party with Ian, I bumped into the table games manager, and he was with his boss, and that guy wants craps tables around the entire bar. He wants it to he wants like 12.
Yeah.
So I mean, certain houses are going to be doing that. I saw the table games manager over at I mentioned this. I think I mentioned this, but I saw him over at Paris, and I told him like to get rid of the, you know, the repeater stuff and bring back the ATS and to do, you know, to get rid of these felts. But you know, there's some changeover there.
It's good that the Palms is seeing that. I'll tell you, Craps is kind of a lost leader for a lot of casinos. And if you think about this, and I've told this story on my show before, and it this came from David, and it came from a boss who knows the numbers, which I think is kind of shocking. On a blackjack table, right, a regular $10 blackjack table with one dealer, that table, if it's full and they're getting 75 hands an hour, loses $80 an hour. Okay, now imagine a craps table with, you know, even if it's full with 3 dealers, right, loses money just to operate the table because of expenses, right? But what game gets people around the game gambling like craps? No other. Nobody's cheering and high-fiving at a blackjack table and hugging strangers, right? This doesn't happen. Our game does that. And that's why I think the Palms and Palace and other casinos are seeing the value of like, let's put craps out there front center and surrounding everything so that all the wackos that play it get people playing other stuff while they're waiting.
Well,
It-
dude,
it's been a no-brainer to me forever. And it's like, I think that you're saying the Palms is seeing it. Other places are going to start seeing that. Or hopefully
Well,
doing some math because,
well, I mean, the weekends that I've been at Palms, dude, all six tables were packed. They were packed on
That's
Super Bowl.
awesome.
Again,
That's
it was
great.
Super Bowl weekend, but the other weekends, I've been like, my God, I
Mhm.
can't believe how busy they are, which is
yeah.
really nice. Again, I'm a purist. I really don't play anything else. I just don't like it. Like I literally do not like. I've played 2 hands of baccarat maybe in the past 5 years,
Love Baccarat.
and I don't.
Baccarat's
I don't play
boring,
blackjack.
dumb
I just
game, but I
hate
love
it.
it. So let me
So
ask you
I-
this. So the Palms, this is going back about a year when the last time I played at the Palms. They had just started doing $5 3-2 blackjack, and they lowered all the limits down. They started going after a different market.
Yeah.
I think they've expanded their base. Now are they going back up in minimums? Or are they still kind of catering down here? What's the vibe
Yeah.
there? Is it
I mean, they don't. I never see like they have they'll do a $25 table when I go play or
Mhm.
ask for it, but for the most part, it's still 15 is going to be their sweet spot. I know they have some lower tables there.
right?
I don't know. For
That was
for
a
me,
big
I'm
marketing
just,
push. Yeah. They were advertising everywhere. $5 game is back. And I think that they really brought people back to the Palms because it was kind of a shithole for a while. Then they kind of redid things, brought the numbers down, filled it back up, and now they're getting back to normalized.
dude. So this is a
minimums, right?
funny story about Palms. Like Palms before COVID, like right before COVID, when it was sold and they had chaos and it was like
Mhm.
like peaking and like it was the club to go to, and it was the club for hottest girls were working there. It was like the nightlife, the scene. So when COVID hit, so I went out there. It was the first time I had stayed at Palms, and it was right before COVID because it was like February 1st. Because I remember it was 2019. It was like the anniversary of when my dad died, and I went out there. I was going, I'm gonna go have a scotch. I was gonna have a Dewar's White Label, man, which is the
There you
scotch I
go.
like to drink, and because he drank it all the time, so I just love. That's the scotch that I would. I didn't never went for I guess for the expensive stuff. I always had I love Dewar's White Label.
Dewar's is such a dad scotch, isn't it?
I just that's
It
the
is
only
a
scotch
total
I
dad
drank,
drink.
and I would always get it, and then we would always drink it with
Yeah.
my friends. And so I just wanted to get a drink there, and it turned out that I think that's when I ended up staying in my hotel room like the whole weekend, and that's when I think I had whatever. Maybe I didn't have. I don't know if I had COVID, but that's when it hit. And then after that casino just like sucked, and it sucked up until just recently, like in the past year when it was either new or when Yamava or took it over. By the way, from talking to those guys, Yamava is just a absolute like beast of a casino in California. I mean, it is massive compared to Palms, but they said Palms is having an amazing year. Like they are hitting all-time highs, believe it or not. But it's kind of cool. The vibe in there has changed, and it's just
there's a reason for
I like
it, right? And I think we've had this talk privately, but when casinos put players first, shit just happens, right? And it happens for good. And that's what they've done. Like the Palms is doing that. Palace is doing that. The Strip not doing that so much. Some places maybe are, but when they put the players first, they come. And it becomes a better vibe. The whole energy is different, right? So I think to wind it back to Seattle, the same thing. Like the casinos fight to get you there because you have to work to get to a casino out here. You have to drive. Even if where I used to live, it's still 45 minutes drive. They got to fight to keep my ass there, right? They got to make it a good experience. The dealers, generally speaking, are super nice. I mean, it's they have to make it player centric. Otherwise, nobody will come, except for the pure degens.
Yeah, and John. So listen, at Palms, Wisco, he's he mentioned
Ben?
this, and because actually with Wisco, it was one of the first times I actually went over to to Palms when he was in town
Mhm.
to go play the table, and it was packed, and they only had 2 tables
Yeah.
open, so it was like one of those things where you had to sort of bide your time. But he says, I love the Palms. You struggle with locals interrupting the game. It's a constant on the table, off the table, back on the table. Yes,
Yeah.
so many ferrets, but that's what you get when you have those lower limit tables. That's just part of
It's true.
that. That's just part of that
It is.
game.
We have that here
And-
too. We have that here too, because
So
every
is-
casino here is a locals casino. They're all like nobody's
So-
coming to Seattle to go gamble, right? You
So
you happen by a casino.
So John,
You know?
what is the what can you describe the ferret?
Oh my God.
The
Dude,
the PNW ferret.
Yeah.
Does it have like larger
You do.
larger
You
fangs,
have,
more fur?
yeah. What you end up with here a lot is a lot of people that are playing their paycheck. Like literally, like I've seen guys buy in for like $60 and take up a spot. And multiple,
Yeah.
like, they're still they still stink like sweat because they just got off the construction job with their per diem, and that's what you get a lot of that. So the locals are in and out of the tables all the time, and
Yeah.
they are pissed. They're always in a bad mood. Like a lot of the locals, except for our group, of course, our wonderful group, are in bad moods all the time. And
Yeah,
you'll see
well,
people and
dude.
like these old I get these old ladies just come in on the craps table. You see them just kind of leaned over the table, barely betting, like barely even there, and you just know that's their monthly
Oh
stipend.
my
going,
God,
right?
dude.
How about, and Ian and X in chat will agree with that. You see, there's some of us that are players, and we're like, oh crap, that guy again. You can just you can see him coming a mile away. Here he comes.
Listen,
paycheck guy.
Yeah, but do those
zombie ferret? That's funny.
But does that, like, the players, how do you guys deal with it? Because I figured out a way for me personally to deal with it, which was the biggest epiphany that I had at Durango, which was like, raise the limit. I know that's not possible for a lot
Sure,
of people.
we can't do that here.
So
Yeah.
the next thing that I do without even doing that is obviously, and everyone, this is not news. This is what all these guys do. They go early. I'm not an early person, so I go late. So midnight is a sweet spot at all these casinos, except with the caveat being, though, John, is at the quote unquote nicer places, which would be like Aria, more of the higher tier, a lot of tables, I don't have to worry about
True.
that. There's always going to
Yeah.
be a table open. People are maybe, I don't know, maybe it's going to have a high mix of tourists that are there for conventions, but the turnover at the table seems quicker. Maybe because it's maybe because they're all $25. Maybe that has something to do with it. But I'm never sweating ever about Aria not being able to get on a table. And even if I do, I know the wait will be short for it to clear out. And then
Ours
I can
are
move in.
no, dude. Ours are packed, and what you'll find is people doing exactly what you think they would do. Betting the $10 pass line and a 1-2-1 ATS and sitting there with their $100 for 4 hours.
Man,
Like, that's what happens, right? And the thing is, like, we joke about this, but we call it the buddy system, right? Just gonna go, like, I'll go with Ian, so I have somebody to at least talk to, because the ferrets, like as you say, will drive you crazy, right? If you go in there by yourself to just get a game in, you'll have no fun. And I'm pretty social when I play. We played together.
yeah.
Ian will tell you that. But recently, it's more that I'm just like going there going, oh my God, like, can we just, set the dice and can we just do this? And it's that part of it's frustrating. The local yokels will drive you nuts. So the weekends at night, it's better. Like, I would rather play there when it's busy at night and the limits are higher, like you're saying, because it's more players than creeps, I guess.
Yeah, and I don't know who this is, but this is a EFSU. What is EFSU?
FSU?
Is that a university? EFSU. I don't know.
I forget
But
his name. I actually
Eastern
know this
Ferret,
person.
Southern
and I forget
University.
the
There are
Eastern
ferrets
Ferret University.
at a $50 minimum.
That's funny.
That's true, but those ferrets are
They don't last long.
They're a little different I don't know. They're a little different. The ferrets at the higher level, but there are some. But it's more so the ones that are like hopping from table to table. That you can just see. You just see them, and you see it at Palms, and they're the ones that come up. I mean, John, when I was there even with Moonshine and Bump John, and we had a table. I had the whole side at $100, and they could play at whatever they wanted, and it was just them two. So it took. I think they had 50 down there, but there was a guy that came up literally with like $10. He got mad. He got mad that he could not play and put down his $10. It had to be $10. Maybe it was less than that. A Moonshine would know. But then he was like, then he claimed racism. Like that it was racism that we were keeping him from the table. And it's like, dude, but that's what you get. You get that a lot, and you do. And it's,
you get these people that walk up and they're all pissed off, and they kind of crowd in and split you up, and they'll throw a bunch of white chips out there, and they'll yell shit like $17 action. And we're all like, what the hell are you even talking about? The dealers have no idea what they want. And it is, the whole game grinds down. That's their only bet they're making. They lose it and they walk away. You're like, we spent 15 minutes on that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of stuff that'll,
John,
but a locals casino, you get that, right?
Yeah, John, dude, this is a great comment. This is hilarious. Mudslide. What's up, Mudslide? He's like, hi, everyone. Hey, everyone. Face it, we were all ferrets at one time. Right. And dude,
100%.
I don't think I was a ferret, but I was not that variety. I was just more like realizing quickly, I can't, like, this is not working. Like trying to run, there's a different, I guess we were all ferrets, but to varying degrees. There's a special type. And it's, by the way, these are like fish from poker. These are the guys that are that are all playing the, $2 games in the poker rooms in LA, man. It's the same type of player. And in what you mentioned, you're one of the only people that mentioned there's an emotional quality to them too. Angry, just pissed. You see that only at the super lower limits. And I get it, but I don't see it tons where I play.
Right. Well, again, Vegas is different. And AC is becoming more like Seattle, I think, where people are literally DJing their last bit of dollars out there to kind of get through the week. Like, that's to me the sad, like when you live near a casino, to me, there's a sadness to that. And I watch those people and I'm like, I just know what's happening. I know what's happening over here. They're not going to play. They're not going to attack the casino. You and I and Ed and everybody else, we make these, I'm going to say it out loud because that's not here, strategies to play. We have ways we want to attack the table, make money, get in, get out, whatever your system is. These people don't have a freaking system. They're just hoping to get soup can money so they can, I'm out of toilet paper. Let me go win a $5 bet. Give me that $7 on that 6, please, so I can go buy some TP on the way home. Like that's what there's a real sadness, and that happens in off strip. When I drive by or walk by a Dottie's in Vegas, that's what I see.
Oh, right? I've only been in a Dottie's one time.
I've never
in Vegas,
been in
but
one.
That's a thing.
That's a thing, right? And I think a lot of, even though our casinos here are beautiful and gorgeous, and they're catering now to a higher clientele at night and weekends, you go to a Seattle casino at 5 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon, that's what you're going to see. And it's part of it pisses you off. Part of it makes you sad. Part of it's like, just get out of my damn way so I can be serious here and not have to, breathe your haven't brushed your teeth in six days ass. You know what I'm saying?
I think, John,
I'm sounding negative. I don't mean to sound so negative, but now you pissed me off.
No, but that's like, that's why that's exactly why I stopped playing poker in Los Angeles. It literally was because of the players that surrounded me. And then the mood that I was left with being around these guys, it was miserable. And that energy rubs off on you. And, but I think I can manage it more. It's just a little frustrating when, like, by the way, that OG Ferret last night, he came up to a $50 table. Like, you need some pretty strong, like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Like, where this Ferret is getting his money, the OG Ferret has somehow, like, I don't know what happened. like chewed up someone's wallet, but he's been buying into these tables. But I think you have to really, I set my expectations
Yeah.
appropriately for the casino that I'm going to. And it really, the big thing is the time of day. And that is the,
Yeah. And you'll never find one. And I have made lunchtime runs before, back when I lived on that side of the mountains, but you'll never see one of our regulars, one of our group there in the afternoon. Right. And the nice thing about the Seattle scene is that you can drive up to Tulalip tonight. If I could get there, go there tonight. Ian could go tonight. Right.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you one of our group will be there, and you'll walk in and you'll catch an eye and go, oh, hey, boom, got a partner. Like there's always a partner for you because everybody knows everybody in this group and it's tight. And there's a comfort in that.
Yeah.
Even if there's ferrets around you, you have.
So X-Man who,
oh yeah,
that dude's great,
Mhm.
Yeah, and he's a poker player too. I think a lot of the guys up in Seattle that are poker players. Yeah, that's a big scene.
A lot of blackjack players. Because of our little strip mall casinos. Because those strip mall casinos, most of the time they're good. Like mine here in Wenatchee, I've got a 3-2 4-deck hand shuffled game with surrender. Right down. I can walk there. Right. You don't find that anywhere. Now the limit's low. You can only get to 250 on the table, but those games are everywhere. So a lot of people will do that as their regular thing, and they'll save, something else for the weekends.
Yeah. So John, just really quickly, what's y'all's feeling about bubble craps? I mean, I have zero feeling, zero anything. I've played it one time, maybe once. I can't stand. I don't like anything that has to do with a video screen or and I love that Buck Shoot'em called it button slappers. That's the same thing.
Yeah.
I
hate it.
Button slapper. So, but some of my best friends here love slapping the buttons, dude. I can't stand it. And I can't stand it with craps. I just like the live game. Is that big up there?
It's getting big. We just now have bubble craps. Like in the last year, we've started to get the machines. We haven't had them before. And so it's introduced, of course, bubble roulette, bubble craps brings in the super low rollers. It gets some of those folks off the table and playing a dollar game. I'm not a fan personally of bubble craps. You know what I use it for? You'll laugh your ass off at this. I use bubble craps to round up or down my money. Because I'm a guy, I will never have anything less than $100 bill in my wallet. If I've got $50 or $51, it's going in the bubble machine. I'm either going to lose it or I'm going to make it an even 100 and I'm out. Like I'm kind of weird, like OCD that way. That's bubble craps to me, is like the ATM machine for that.
Hey, listen, man, Bump John, he's like my main guy that I go in my crew here. He will always go and play bubble craps and kill time that way and try to make $100 here and there and do whatever. I guess it's to each their own. I just can't stand it. And I'm very much a purist in that way.
If you want to try something out, that's a great way to try it out for cheap. You can burn $100 trying something you saw on YouTube, and like that's the way to try it with real money. And if you make $50, okay, cool. You pay for the parking. Like you look at it that way, and that's a tool that you use, right?
And don't get me wrong, it's good that people are playing that because then they'll graduate. They'll fail upwards into the into real craps. But
for sure.
So I know I talked to someone else, T-Bone up there.
I'm with this guy too. This guy in chat. I don't like bubble craps, but I like stadium. I love stadium craps. I really like stadium craps. Yeah.
What's this guy's name? Habu Brat? Is that how you say it? I don't know who that is. Yeah. I like some of these names, man. But I've never played stadium craps either. I should play it. It looks like it theoretically, sort of from a distance, it looks like it's never really that busy over at Paris. You can always get to see,
stadium is the future.
I don't know about that, dude.
Well, here's why I say that. Because I'm coming from the tech side of things, right? So stadium craps, for people who don't know, you got an 8-foot table in the middle that you can shoot from the end on, right? And so you shoot. There's a dealer that calls the number out, and he puts in the computer, and like 30 people around you are betting on their little machines. So it's a low barrier to entry because they can bet for themselves and not have to hold up the game, not knowing what to do. They can bet for $1. They can learn the game. You get to throw real dice, which is cool. At some point, that's not going to be 30 people around that machine. around that table, it's going to be 1 million people because they're
Man.
going to network that. They're going to network that thing, and it's going to be right here on your phone. You're going to be playing stadium craps, betting stadium craps from the basement while you're shooting at Planet Hollywood. That's what's coming. So,
Hey, John.
to me, that fixes the problem of online gambling, right? You can do it with real people.
Hey,
That's
John,
what's
I just
happening.
put. Yeah, you know what? I can't stand that. All right, I don't like it. I can't help it. It's good for the game, but I would.
It is,
I
yeah.
just personally, I don't know why. I just love playing
Oh, sure.
craps.
No
just
question.
like
No
to
question.
me, those other games are sort of like craps, but they're not like craps. But I guess they are. But to me, that's not real craps. You
Yeah.
got to just play the real game with the dice, and you just gotta. Yeah,
I hear you. There's something special about the real game, but that stadium game, it's half real and half not. The pacing is different, but I think it's going to become the way that people play online.
Yeah,
cities
well,
where you can't play.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm spoiled. John, I made this little thing, or ETG made this thing. It was going to introduce. So now that like I'm sort of like, now on YouTube doing this stuff, dude, I'm making all these. Oh, the show will go like this. First, I'll have, Two Seam, and then I'll have Eddie Money, and then I'll have these guys show up, and then this, and I should just write this plan and then rip it up, right? And that's how it's. Check this
having
out.
Having guests is hard.
I made this little thing though. ETG did. Check it out. It was for you guys for the PNW. Check this out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's too far.
I have my sense of humor is very very easily amused. Okay. Let me know when you want to see that again, or let me know when you want to have a word from our sponsor. John,
most of us feel that same way. Yeah.
It is time. A word from our sponsor. I've got this. Hold on. John. So this is a sponsor, not a sponsor. This is called Ultra. These packs, these little tobacco things.
Oh, man, like Zins, like Zins.
Yeah, they're like Zins, but they're not. And I've been trying all different kinds. By the way, I just ordered some other ones at this guy I know who has a Viking podcast, right? And he suggested these, but I got them, and they were like coffee. They were horrible, dude. I almost puked.
That sounds delicious.
Absolutely horrible. It was like vanilla coffee. I thought it would be so good, and I'm like, this sucks. But these things, these Ultra ones, these are great. I now will like take this in right before I shoot. I just put one in, and man, it's great. It's great.
Wow. So I hate to say it, but I've been starting to smoke cigars again.
Just nice, recently. Dude.
My brother-in-law got me into it again. I haven't smoked. So you know my story, right? I was a heavy smoker when I played in the band, right back, literally playing bass with the cigarette up in the, right. I'm sure you've done the same thing. But when I had the heart attack and I died, I haven't smoked since. I was 36. Now I'm 57. So I haven't in 21 years now since I've had a cigarette. I love smoking. Like I loved it so much.
Oh man, I know.
Dude, I can smell, but I can smell a car on the freeway where somebody's smoking, and I will get behind that car and just waft in it, right? So I've been doing cigars a little bit recently, but the tobacco or the nicotine, I'm a little worried about it because my health. I think nicotine does scare me. Otherwise, I would be on those.
I don't know, man. I mean, sort of like mine, just like. Wait, you like if you died and came back, I don't think you should be smoking cigars. It just seems like that would be, I don't know.
I'm like Bill Clinton, and I don't inhale.
Yeah, well, I mean, hey, listen, we're glad you are back though for round 2, right? I mean, I love smoking cigarettes. I loved it. And when you're, playing in a band, you are around so much of that shit. Even if you're trying to stop. Everyone's smoking. All the times have changed, obviously, but even from the early 2000s, all the way to 2000, really up to 2010. I mean, all in California, San Diego, you just go outside in the show and the patio, everyone's smoking cigarettes. Yeah. Now, I don't really know anyone that smokes it's complete. It's like it's
Me
it's
neither.
like a
Yeah, nobody smokes
it's
cigarettes
like a
anymore.
relic
But I
of the
remember,
past. It's
but I remember, dude, I remember practicing in like we had this. We lived in we had the band house in Seattle. We lived in this shitty little house, and in the basement, which was a concrete floor, cinder block wall basement, we had, of course, like you do, nailed up with concrete nails. We found carpet like at a dump. Brought the carpet in, unrolled it around the walls. That was
Yeah.
our soundproofing, right? And we all smoked in this little room that's probably 15 by 15, maybe 10 by 10. And smoked
yeah,
packets
I
and
know.
packets,
It's
right?
like
You
it's-
know what that carpet smelled like, and that whole place.
Yeah.
You would walk by our house and become addicted to cigarettes. It was so bad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad.
So
I'm
bad.
glad I don't smoke, and I'm glad I actually don't drink. Who was I talking to today? I don't know who I was talking to today and why I can't remember this, but it was about paying attention at the table, and that's one of the biggest things to like. That's one of the made the biggest difference in my game was not drinking, and I love drinking too. I love drinking and I love smoking. I love doing all that stuff. I really do. I love doing mushrooms. All of it is amazing, but you can't having a drink for me. My game got so much better just from the pure attentiveness of the finer details. And I think when people start playing more and more, they're going to realize. And it was a really interesting. I'm going back to this thing last night. Oh, I know who I was talking to. I think I was talking to Mr. Pressett. But if you look at our roll counts from last night, horrible. Okay, horrible. Right? I think the longest roll might have been on that table was like 11. Right? But when you pay attention, which is what I think, again, Ed and Bo and the DI, all that stuff, that's amazing. I fully buy into it, but I'm more a believer in, I think it should be dice attention, because I think that's almost more important than everything. But I made I got even in one roll, and I credit it just on paying attention over time. And the quick story, John, and why I think this is so important is, so last time Mr. Pressett was here, I remember I was at a table, Justice Jen, Huggy Bear, JJ, Mr. Pressett, and I think someone, oh man, Buddha, I don't know. I'll remember, right? One of his friends, I forgot his handle. Panda Man? No, it's something like that. All right. But I remember Mr. Pressett throws hard sixes. He just throws hard sixes with whatever his main set is, right? That's stuck in my head because I remember betting on it. So then this time, I haven't seen him since. He's at the table. His first roll, he throws a hard six. And then it was just like, oh, Jimmy Dice Panda. Okay, Dice Panda. Sorry about that. Thanks, Huggy Bear. Then I was like, oh, yeah. And so I told Bumchan, I said, Bumchan, that's his dominant hard way. That's what he throws. So I was down. I had bought in for 10,000. I was down like 1,500 at that point. I mean, remember, there were PSOs, 4 rollers, nothing long. So I'm like, well, you know what? I'm going to do this because this is, I know it. How many times I've seen him throw it? This is his number. So I plopped down 300 on hard six, 300 on six. And that was my biggest bet of the night right there. And it was towards the end of the session. I was not playing across. I was treading water the whole night and it was really just not a lot of big rolls were happening. But then I think his fourth roll, I've got his sheet here. Fourth roll, I just look down, I see 3-3, and I'm like, sweet. Then all of a sudden,
it is, yeah.
Then all of a sudden I'm up, and my 6 hits for another 350. Guess what? After you talk about managing a roll, well, now I'm in profit, and when I'm in profit, that's what I consider my strong suit, because it's so tough. I feel like you always start a session like this. You're always, it's so rare that you just start and you're up. You almost go in there down, and then
you do, yeah.
The minute I'm up, I'm cool. So then I was up. I ended up like 1,700. I'm like, cool. I'm leaving with 1,000, period. My session's done. I'm going to like use this 700 to play with, but then I'm done. First time. And that was the first time I was profitable all night, but it was tired. I'm going to roll. I'm going to, you know, I hadn't even shot because it was just too many people and it just wasn't right. And I wasn't feeling it, but getting back to my point, paying attention. I think one of the most underrated thing that should be pushed more than anything is paying attention. And that's what drinking at a table does, talking a lot. And you can still talk, but
yeah,
if I was going to tell anyone, I'm like, you should know what this guy, you should get used to, this is my opinion. You should get used to, like, if you're at a table, you should know this guy threw this, and this. You can almost like rattle back, you know, and having Bump John, I'm like, no. Bump John was like, well, he's throwing uptown. I'm like, no, he's not, because he threw a 3, he threw a 4, he threw a 6. I said, so he's thrown equal amounts uptown and downtown. So it might have seemed like that, but I'm always paying attention. I think that I would just, that's my number one suggestion to anyone.
And you can't do that when you're drunk or tired. And I think, I was working this,
Great
I did
points.
like 20, I did this series of shows, 26, you know, ABCs of gambling, right? And the whole point I thought was going to be, let me teach you about gambling. Like the A word could be advantage play, and you know, the whatever, C could be craps. It turned into this psychological deep dive. And I must have said in every single show at some point, because every letter brings you back to this, don't play when you're not ready to play. And that might mean like the house edge on craps, even if you're playing box numbers, is, you know, 2-3%. But the hold on the table is 16% because people are dumbasses, right? And they drink too much and they're smoking and they're not paying attention, or they're there for 4 hours and they're tired, and you can't make good calls when you're tired. Being present is really hard. And I always say, you know, gamble where your feet are. You got to be like right there. And if you're not right there, you're going to make mistakes and you're going to give money back that you shouldn't be giving back. And I think you got it. So,
well, it's funny because we were walking in the casino last night, and it's funny. You know, if Bump John was here, I told him to call in later, but we went over like rules. I'm like, okay, give me your rules. Okay. And he gave me his rules, because I have rules. I have like 10 rules, you know, and I should read them all the time. But he was like, okay, trust your gut. Don't get impatient, or whatever they were. They were good. There were 5 solid rules, and we're leaving at night. We're always, what happens, we get back because Bump John's nice enough to drive me home, and in the car we'll go over the tracking and look at moments. And he was like, yeah, I broke every rule. And I'm like, that's insane. The first time we talk about your rules, but it's rare for Bump John to get like to lose, and we'll talk about that. But you know,
well, rules are hard when you're playing with friends. Rules are hard, and I think, you know, and I said this too. A rule needs to have a period at the end of it. Like, it needs to be a definitive thing. A rule cannot be, well, when I'm feeling like I'm doing well, I'm going to bet the whatever. A rule is like, no, when I'm 90 minutes in, I'm done, or I'm up, like you said, $1,000. My rule is I'm now done. You stick to the rule. When you're with people in a group, it's hard to stick to rules because you get distracted and you don't want to just walk away. You know, if you and I had gone to that night, we went to Caesars, right? And let's pretend that we walked in there, all bought in. I get the dice, and I think I had the dice first that night, right? What if I would have thrown 24 and hit the ATS on that first roll? I'd have been like, time to go. But no, we're all playing together. We're not leaving. So rules have to be strict, end with periods. But when you're with friends, it's hard, man.
Yeah. So listen, John, we're gonna wrap it up, but listen, Ian just jumped back in. Let's just try.
Really?
We could say goodbye to him, but before, okay, we'll get him back on to say goodbye, because then I have 2 see him on, but see if his connection, if he solved it. But John, I want to tell you, listen, I've told this to other people. I really respect the amount of you're an absolute beast at the content that you just keep pushing out. That takes a lot of just the dedication. And of course, you're a bass player. It takes a lot of dedication and grind to keep going, because it is thankless, because there's a lot of you know, just to get up there, do it and keep doing it. I mean, even to even do this show, it's like, man, it's I mean, I was like, how do you do it? It's I have all these plans and then you realize none of it's going to work.
None of it's
You know,
gonna-
just wing
The
it,
plan is
which
no
is-
plan. Yeah.
which is really kind of Ed's deal. Ed is just like, yeah, Ed's got it. Just here, have a
Ed-
bourbon.
Ed can wing it for hours, and it sounds like he planned it all. Like that, there's a gift to that for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'd like to add, like, if I just was coming on, like having these talks, like if if Ed and I were on every week, it would diminish the podcast that I love, the audio podcast. And I got to keep it fresh with Ed so that when we do record, not, you know, on camera, it's a different thing. And then it just,
Totally.
yeah, I just don't want to ever have that, lose that by just being, you know what I mean? Anyway,
Yeah,
listen,
100%.
Ian was
Right.
here. Ian,
Is there that
he just
crapped out
he
again?
popped up. Look at dude, this guy, like, man, talk about
Just
like,
trying to stay engaged, man. I'm just trying to stay engaged.
dude, listen, well, I mean, did you sort out your internet?
Well, I think it's because the video was sucking up too much of the upload, so I shut off the video.
There
Oh
you go.
man, why didn't you let us know that a long time ago?
Well, you know, you guys were rocking and rolling. I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, I appreciate that. But Ian, listen, man. Well, how about this? The next show, because you are sort of like the are you the ringleader?
He is.
Between Craig and I, we're probably the ringleaders. Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this?
I mean, I'm the guy that put in chat. Hey, Tenton, you come to Seattle, and we'll hook you up with a party. We will.
Oh, sweet.
We'll make it a 3-day banger, and I guarantee you, we'll get people to come out and hang out with you. And we'll do a cool thing like we did with Jeremy and Texas Alfredo, and we go out to McMinimans and have not that you drink scotch, but John and I will drink your
McMinimans.
scotch. That's right.
Yeah, man. I mean,
This is great.
we'll see. I mean, you never know. You never know. I always love Seattle. I always love coming up there. I used to. Well, last time I played was at Crocodile. John, you ever play there? And then Chop Suey.
Oh my
were the
gosh,
last-
are you serious?
Yeah.
They moved that place.
They did.
They moved it 2 blocks west.
All right. Well,
It's on
I bet
First and
you're
Walnut.
at like are you at like
Or
a really
across
nice
or something.
a nice little vacation house? John, is he at like a really nice like vacation house?
I wouldn't
Probably?
say it's little. It's a beautiful place.
Yeah,
you're
it's
out
like
on Anderson, he's on Anderson Island. So
Yeah,
in Seattle, if you look at the map, you're the Puget Sound has all these little islands out
my
there, the
wife
San
bought
Juans. That's where it's at.
Man. Oh, listen. Yeah, the Puget Sound. That's
It's
why
a
we added this. Hey,
nice
Ian, did you
little
see
house.
this?
Been done, it is.
You see this? Thanks a lot. You see this? What I had made for the show. That's a Puget Sound for you, dude.
There you go. Right.
Yeah. All right. So listen, John,
All right. Yeah.
thank you,
blessed.
man, for
Anytime.
saving Ian's,
Ah. His connection.
time,
Yep. I'm
time
glad
to
you.
shine.
Yeah.
And then
I'm glad I
Ian
caught.
just-
I'm glad I caught your text. I thought we were doing it at 7:15. I was going to go eat, and then I saw your text. Like, oh God, I guess we're
Yeah.
coming doing it now.
But Ian,
So yeah, it all worked out.
You guys will be on because so the plan is my plan is like I want to talk to some people in Florida. You know, I'd love to talk to I've already talked to like G-Man and Sweet Rolls just to get an idea so that people know what's going on in those spots.
Mm.
Also with I talked to BRB up in New England. I just love hearing that because he's texting me. He's like, I bought in for $500 10 ton and I left with 1,500. And he's always like, he's got all these stories and he's got a crew and how they work their tables.
Lost.
Like, yeah, we go into the high roller or high limit for that to play craps. And there's certain places in
Lost
Vegas
audio.
have that. Did I lose you?
No, Ian called me just now,
Oh.
so it took
Listen, man.
my headphones off. Yeah.
Ian, it's been a pleasure, but we'll get Ian back on. But so John, thanks, man. Thanks for
Anytime.
saving the day for Seattle.
Anytime, man.
Man,
Anytime.
that was
Rock
not
on, dude.
looking
Yeah.
good for the Seattle scene to have Ian just,
chopping up like that. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm always here for you, man.
All right, dude. Thanks, man.
All right, take care.
We'll be talking
luck,
soon,
everybody.
all right?
Yep.
Later,
All right,
dude.
bye.
Oh my God. Listen, I got to check the chat. Cool Whip. Thank you, man. ATS Hunter. Nice, dude. Dr. Yank. Craig Talks. I don't know who Craig Talks is. I don't know. Big Tuna. Oh, Big Tuna. I don't know if there's Big Tuna. Is Big Tuna? That might be Two Seams. I think I know Big Tuna. I'm gonna have to ask Two Seam about that. What a handle, man. Big Tuna. Let's see. What do we got? Lazy Dog. Yeah, Ian's in there. Sweet. Thank you guys. That's really nice. Craps Master Journey, dude. I don't know where you are. Why do I feel like you're in Midwest somewhere? All right. I'm gonna get Two Seam on because this is what I wanted to start the show on. And I know Eddie Money, you've been chilling in the waiting room, dude. Chill longer. Mr. Two Seam. Oh man. Let's see if we can.
I will get off and mute, and there you go.
Nice, man. Two Seam, nice to see your face, dude.
Thanks.
So I don't know if the show, I don't know, whatever. I'm glad you're here. I had it scheduled in a perfect world. In a perfect world, I was gonna start the show, but it just ended up having you just come on when you come on. We're gonna wing it. And Big Tuna is your daughter.
She's my daughter, and Habu Brat is my wife.
Oh my God, dude. I called them both out without even knowing that.
Yeah.
That's nice, man.
That's pretty cool.
Stacking the chat with that's great. So Two Seam, this is the reason why I wanted to have you on. You're you're very articulate and well spoken, and you are a thinker. And we've had some nice, like, since we've met. You took, you were over here. I met you at at one of our experiences, and I would just like to, how, our conversations with how we've talked about the game. It's always interesting to see someone, like, how they're processing the game and how they start learning the game after you've been doing it for a long time. And I'd really loved, I want to share in a minute. I wanted to share your setup, because when you sent in your setup, it's just, it's awesome to see. But maybe you can just like give me a real quick, for the people that don't know you. You're in California, and how long you've been playing, and where you're usually playing. Just a bit. Give us the the quick Two Seam breakdown.
The brief breakdown. So, I have been probably playing, I think I probably got on my first real craps game in Las Vegas. And back in the early, let's say 2010s, 11, 12, somewhere in there, I used to go to Vegas quite often for work, to a conference, like the CES show or NAB.
Yeah.
So I was going to Vegas 2 or 3 times a year for work. I had some downtime, and I remember I was at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and I was staying at the Hilton, which is now the Westgate, and
which is right here, literally right there.
It's right on the property of the convention center. Yeah. And when you walk from the convention center to the hotel, you got to walk right past the casino. And I went walking past the craps pit, and I hear all these people yelling and screaming and having a good time. I'm like, it drew my attention. So I just peeked over the shoulder of some people, and I started watching. And it was interesting. So I think that was probably the first time I ever threw any money down on a craps table. Was at that table at the pit.
Were you nervous when you first did that? It's got to be it's one of the.
I had no idea what I was doing. Someone said, "Oh yeah, if you lose, you win if you get a 7 on the first one, you lose if you don't." I dropped a couple $100 on the table. I don't think it lasted too long.
Yeah, it's one of the more nerve-wracking things, isn't it? This game can be it's so intimidating when you don't know what to do. So
yeah, I mean, I was watching somebody else, and then the guy on my right was telling me what to do, and but I was enjoying the camaraderie. I was enjoying the excitement that people were having, and I wanted to get exposed to a little bit. And around those times, Indian casinos weren't that big a thing, and seems like you either go to Atlantic City or you went to Las Vegas.
Yeah,
and every to Las Vegas, I would try again and try again. I remember a few times. I remember one time I was at playing at Treasure Island. Another time, by some happy luck and circumstance, I would win. I had no business with it, probably, but I would win, and of course those wins just.
What they say, even a blind squirrel gets a nut.
Yeah, I found a nut every once in a while. That's for sure.
You got some.
We moved out to California, and there were more. Turned out our family likes to go out to. We're not too far from Lake Tahoe.
Yeah,
and so we would take. Even for the whole experience, the hiking, this and everything that's there, and of course there was casinos right on the state line there, and so I would play a lot at Harrah's or Harvey's, which is now California Republic, and there was Golden Nugget, and now there's Bally's all out there.
Yeah. So
I would bounce around at those casinos and play, 3-4 times a year when we went up there.
When did you decide to go from, okay, I don't know what I'm doing, or I want to get better?
So it started when I would win, and sometimes I would tend to no lie. One time I remember playing over at Harvey's.
What were you buying in for? Like a couple $100? Or?
Games were probably at that point $10. $10 was an average game, right?
Yeah, but what were you bringing like to the table?
I was bringing maybe $400 or $500 to play a $10 table.
Okay, nice.
I mean, I wasn't because I'm a little bit. I won't blow a whole bunch of money when I'm really not sure what I'm doing, right? But the other thing, while that was all happening, I was gaining a lot of knowledge, right? Yeah. So I was listening to Jeremy over at Color Up. I was listening to John at Pro Craps. I was Waylon.
Oh, nice.
And I was trying to suck in as much knowledge as I could, thinking, oh well, if I figure out these strategies, I could do something, right? And at least have some idea what I was doing and had some level of confidence that I had a plan, right? But as it turned out, and as I learned later, as I got more experience, maybe having just a strategy isn't really the best way to go and consistently win at the craps table.
Dude, we all make that mistake. That's like a most common mistake. I mean, I would watch a lot of that stuff and think, okay, this is going to take my game to the next level. And then all of a sudden you go out and then you realize how clunky it might be, how it's not playable, how it really doesn't translate from the confines of like, oh yeah, this is going to work and I'm just going to do this, this, and this. It is nothing like that. It's a completely different thing. And then so it's a smack in the face, man.
When I got hammered a few times, right, and walking out with no money in my pocket, real literally, it was the worst feeling. I mean, today I never leave the casino without something in my pocket if I'm losing, right? I'll respect my 50% or loss limit or whatever. But back in those times, it was like to walk out of the casino with no money in my pocket is just an awful feeling. I never wanted to go back to that again, even if it wasn't life-changing money.
Those build some sort of, I don't know, man. Those are the things that make you who you are. Those walks are horrible. Losing all the money in the casino.
Those empty pocket, turn your pockets inside out, nothing there nights keeps you
maybe
up.
A couple crumbs, some dust.
And it's like, how did this happen? Why did it happen? It shouldn't happen. I don't believe this, and it got to the point where I was just like, I'm going to find out what happened as an engineer and a technical person.
Yeah.
I was like, okay,
who was the first class that you took then?
Well, it turned out, I came across Dice Coach. And
Dice Coach was the first guy?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you went to Heavy first.
No. I went to Dice Coach pre Casino Tears. So
wow.
That was my first class. And I went to Dice Coach's house, and he had me there for, first time I met him, it was great. He had me there for like 4 hours.
Oh,
and
man.
He took my toss apart. We talked about, money management, all the basics that I should have known and that I kind of knew about, and the information I was collecting, listening to various webcasts and such.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between experiencing those YouTube videos and trying to learn and then actually doing it. Right. And as I was playing, it was like, uh-oh, there's a gap that I need to jump. Right. Which is when the moment comes, are you really ready to work? Are you really ready to make those decisions? And do you really have a good plan? And Bo just opened my eyes to that. There was a lot more that I needed to know that I didn't know.
Yeah. I had the same similar experience whenever I was at Bo's. I realized how much I don't know was one of the things that I realized, like, what is absolute legend. I consider him one of the 3 legends, and you have to tip your cap to, like, obviously Heavy, Bo, Dom. I mean, name someone else. I'll wait, but I think those are the 3 guys that are still living that are here. I'm sure there might be some other ones, but in my world, I feel like those are, they're living legends. And the amount of knowledge stored, agree, disagree with how they play. I mean, I just can't play
however they play was better than the way I was playing. Right.
Well, yeah, fair enough. Right. I mean, they're there for a reason. And he really has, Dice Coach, you realize how much, he really just, he somehow combines all of the facets of the game into, I don't know, he just integrates it really well as an entire sort of ecosystem on how to play. And he's got his ways. There's things I disagree with, certain things. I don't turn my bets off like he does, but I understand it. And what a great first person to meet. I think people are going to be like kind of like how Howard, I was lucky to at least go to Howard's place a couple times. And someone mentioned, Craig talks that there's Tony Leo, correct. Give the man his due. Like, these guys have been in the game and for a long time, and just doing it for that long, that deserve a lot of respect in my book. I mean, whether or not you agree with how they play.
I would say one of the biggest things I got from just working with Bo is I didn't have a practice plan. What am I practicing on? What am I looking for? Why am I trying to do the things I'm doing? Right. So
dude, Two-Seam, can I show everyone? I forgot. Got wrapped up in this combo. Can I show people? Dude, I got to show people what you practice on. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Listen, I'm going to add this. Hopefully this adds correctly and we're good. Oh, dude, Two-Seam, check this out. This, everyone in chat, this is Two-Seam was kind enough to send me a picture of his practice table. And I'm going to do this with a lot of other people. Your practice table, tell me about this setup. And Two-Seam, man, I think I have the ability to circle things on this right now on this chat, which is sweet. But this is
obviously I used to play a lot of pool, and And then one day after I decided, you know what, I want to get into this craps thing a little bit. It seems a little more interesting. I had to,
Two-Seam, check this out. These things, see these fringe things? That's those.
Yeah,
that's classy, dude. That is some classy stuff. When I was looking at that, I'm like, he's got the fringe things hanging down on the pockets. I like that, man.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah. All the balls are in there. You know, if I have to, and people want to play pool, I can take the whole thing apart. But it takes me about.
This looks like a nice table, man.
It
Pool
is.
table.
It's a really nice table.
So is it slate? Is it slate under there? Is
yeah,
it
it probably weighs
slate?
about 1,000 pounds.
Ah, nice, man.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, classy.
And
all right, dude,
it's an 8-foot table. Huh?
8 foot, cool. I'm going to ask you about this, okay? So
yeah,
this right here, and I know you sent me some other pictures. I don't have them loaded up, but see this thing right here? So
what is that?
Did you build that or did you buy that? It's like a little gripper.
I built it. I built it. It's a gripper, right? With just a little
built
mirror. I did.
That's awesome, dude.
I figured out, after working with Bo and we talked about all the grips, and he said you got to pick one you like, right? So I was messing with the tong grip, and I was messing with the 3-finger grip and the pincher grip and all this stuff, and of course I was, for me, my nickname is Two-Seam, right? And the reason I got Two-Seam is because back in the day, I used to be a pitching coach.
Yeah.
And so Two-Seam was kind of stuck on me and something I like to use. Anyway, the practice, when I taught pitching, it was about repetition and practice. Yeah. And part of that practice had to do with getting a reliable grip, right? Yep. So I had measured these little wooden spacers and lined them up to the dice so that I could constantly feel the seam and grip the front part of the dice consistently. And then I had the mirror there to watch it. So when I grab the dice, I can close my eyes, grip the dice, and know whether I've got my grip or not.
I feel like the Golden Touch people have that, if I'm not mistaken.
I've seen it around. Yeah. I just, decided I was going to make my own custom one because I was, everybody's a little different. And,
hey man, that's cool that you actually made it. So this back here, okay, this thing that I'm circling, that is like, you obviously built that too, right?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You didn't build the pool table, did you?
No, I didn't build the pool table. That was blocked.
Yeah, all right. So listen. So is that the bucket that you throw into?
Yes,
it's a bucket that you throw into, right?
And it's calibrated for 45, 35, 20-degree angles with a little
oh my god, dude. Side. Oh my god. Yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah.
And so you take the top off, and there's some padding at the back, because when you throw them into the bucket, they make a god-awful sound. So that kind of cushions the sound. But I toss them from, 6 feet, 8 feet, whatever, and the most I've ever been able to do is 5 in a row. Toss from my throwing spot, and 2 dice, both in at the same time.
So Two-Seam, are you shooting from, now this is set up, I asked you this earlier, but are you set up just to shoot straight out and practice your straight out shot?
So I practice from straight out most of the time, but what I would do is I could move the stuff that's on the right, shift it all to the right, and then just toss from like stick left one.
Now, have you ever measured like, and I'm sure you must have, because that would be a big thing for me, measure the actual height of your pool table so that it actually comes close to mimicking what it would be like on a regular table.
Yes. So that my pool table is about 27.5 inches tall.
Oh man, you have, dude. You have.
Yeah.
That is interesting. I didn't know that the pool table is actually like pretty much the same height as a craps table.
It's pretty close. Yeah, it's pretty close.
Yeah, it's super close. It's right in that 20, 25, 26. I was obsessed with it to get like a certain height, and all the tables in Vegas are slightly different.
Yeah, yeah, I've seen that. I've seen some tables I'll walk up to and I can't, I'll spot and let's say
Yeah.
like to use the E in pass line to line
Yeah.
up for my stick
Yeah.
left one shot. And
Yeah.
some tables I can reach it, some tables I can't.
So
It's
Two
like-
Seam, did you build this? Your back wall?
Yes.
I
Built that.
love it, dude. You built everything on this. That's
Not almost
awesome.
everything. Almost
Okay.
everything.
All right. So you got the back wall. That's great.
Now
yeah,
I
that's nice.
what there was a choice I had to make for
Tell me.
the diamonds, right? It was a seven
Yeah.
pyramid lifts.
Uh-huh.
But the felt, right? So
Yeah.
I had originally started with some cheesecloth and a layer of felt and then another layer of felt.
Yeah.
And that was what I used, right? And I could take it
Yeah.
apart and I could change that.
Yeah.
But I recently wore out all the felt and I had to get a new one. So I switched now to the neoprene. So that's black neoprene on top of
Yeah.
felt on top of cheesecloth.
Nice,
And-
man. And so what is this distance from here to from the wall?
There
How
to
many
there?
inches?
About 2.5 feet.
Oh, wow. So this is
It's a good distance. So
Yeah.
because
it's a
what
lot bigger
what I
in
was
person.
what I wanted to do was to make sure, when you throw the dice, you
Yeah.
hit the back wall and you want to stay relatively
Yeah.
close to the where you hit the pyramids.
What is
Right,
this
so-
little dot?
Oh, well, that's a Ed Robinson special right there.
Oh, nice.
When I-
You got the Ed Robinson. Is that a
Yes.
little picture of his face that you can
No, when I was at the Casino Tears Experience, Ed was doing his dice training and he said he just gave me a pro tip, and we talked about what you use to spot on the back wall to get up
Yeah.
close to the back wall. So instead of looking at your landing spot, especially the further out you get, you tend to roll short.
Yep.
So the idea was to look longer to get closer from longer distance.
That's
So-
interesting. So, dude, have you found in Vegas or another table that is a close approximation to what you get at your practice rig? Because that's an ideal scenario to actually find a table that's like this.
Yes, I have.
Which one? What would it be?
It's at the Palms.
Oh, nice, dude. Palms.
Palms. So the one that table that we did the night of the Palm Slayer.
Dude, that's table number 304 in the
That's-
back. It's my favorite
that's
table
the
there too,
one.
dude. It is a hard 10 table. It is awesome. It's
Yeah.
awesome. Dude, by the way, a little shout out to Advantage Player Workshop. Gracing us with his presence. I love that, man. He's awesome. He's awesome. ATS Hunter. Great. All right. So listen, Two Seam.
Yeah.
This is so with that table, is there any other table though besides Palms that's like this?
Well, I can think of more tables that aren't.
Yeah.
The one I like the best, I find the Planet Hollywood a little bouncy. I found maybe there's one at the Paris way in the back, past the cashier. Not with
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that one's
yeah.
not too bad, right?
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know what number that is. You might know.
Did you make a let's continue the tour. Now did you
Yeah.
okay, so I'm just assuming you made this. You made
No,
this.
no, that I bought actually.
You're
I've
kidding
got
me.
that
You
on,
actually bought something?
Yeah, I bought that one. I tried to think about how to make it, and it was only like
That
35
seems like you
bucks.
would
It
have
was
made
like,
this. Yeah.
I was thinking about doing it, but it was like, for 35 bucks, you can't beat that. So I just decided to get it. It's exactly what I needed.
And these. So I'm assuming is this your ATS right here?
No. What that is I repurposed a bunch of backgammon chips, and those are where I stack up all my markers. Like, so if I'm practicing and I'm throwing the dice and I get a a series of numbers, I'll mark the numbers, right? I'll 4, 12, 6, 8, and I'll put them, and I'll just space them on the felt so that I could know what I've thrown.
Oh,
And-
copy that. Copy that. Yeah.
Yeah. So there are
Yeah.
markers in there, and there's buy bets and late chips, and then there's some.
So this right
Yeah.
here, what
Yeah.
is this then?
So those are mats that because my layout didn't have a repeater
Yeah.
bet, didn't have the hop bet, and it
It's
didn't
a
have
patchwork,
ATS.
man. Yeah.
So I just made them out of oak tag and
Okay, cool.
drew them up, and
Yeah.
so that I can buy. Now they're very flexible. Like when I want to use them, I use them. If not, I pull them off and
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
do other things.
No, this is a cool setup, and I love this little dice rack here because
So
you've got a little dice collection here, which
Yeah.
is nice. I mean, these are ours, right?
Yeah,
here.
so-
These are great.
yeah, there's some casino tiers in there.
Yeah.
There's some dice coach in there.
yeah.
A few other places, but
Nice use of
they're-
these clips, by the way, keeping them together.
exactly, and
Yeah.
they're separated, right? Because there's two sizes of dice. So
Oh no
so,
way! You've got these separated for dice size. Nice, man.
Yeah,
That's a details, engineering details. I like that, man. I can't stand. I would get rid of this. I would throw this in the garbage if this was here. I hate those small dice. I just hate them. I love throwing with the bigger dice.
Yeah.
I'm just more comfortable with it, and it's better. But yeah, I don't like even practicing with those small dice. But
I think
guess
when
you really have to. You do.
the casino tiers dice, right? They're the little larger dice, right?
Oh yeah,
when you-
bigger is
yeah.
better.
Yeah.
In some cases. This okay.
Okay.
What is
Yeah.
this thing that's on your?
That is a repurposed wrist guard.
Oh,
And-
nice, man.
When I was like when you rollerblade or something,
Yeah.
and I was having had a chance to talk to Bo, and we were talking about flaws on a toss, right? And the things that you could do wrong, like roll the wrist or
Yeah.
go off track, so that when you see the dice and how they react to the wall, well, how do you make the correction? Well,
Yeah.
one of the problems I was having early on was making sure that I wasn't twisting my wrist. So, and of course, with my pitching background and repetition and building muscle memory, the thing I wanted to do was find something that would limit the excess motion of my wrist when I was coming through on the toss. And what
Yeah.
that wrist guard does is it straightens the wrist out, so I'm not turning or twisting when I come
Yeah.
through the toss.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, do
And
you
then
have that? Yeah. You don't have that problem now, though. Yeah. I mean, do you?
No. I mean, I do it as part of practice. I take like 10 or 20 tosses with it just to make sure, because after a while, you don't even know you have it on, right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
when you're moving and trying to force your wrist to go in a direction
Yeah.
that is when you gotta adjust your muscle memory.
Yeah. Yeah. So Tuseem, this is fantastic. How often are you practicing then, as far as and where do you think your game's at right now, as far as because you've come a long way from just when we played together the last time, which was actually I had a really nice time when you and Jay Bird were there, and we sort of went over. I was just telling you, sort of giving you a play-by-play on how I was playing, on what I was going to do. And I think it was when we had that drunk birthday girl. Were you
Oh
there?
yeah, I remember that night. Yeah.
I made yeah.
That was with Bump John. You and I were out one night.
Yeah.
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 Bump John and I say, we're not betting on this lady. She's going to 7 out in 2 rolls. Next thing she's tossing, roll 25, and Bump John and I are still, catching up to what you were doing.
Yeah. But so where are you now, just as far as where are you in sort of your ascension to pro level?
Gosh, I don't know if I ever really can stop learning, but my game has grown tremendously. I would say in the last 2-3 years,
What
You
do you
know,
what do you what for everyone that's watching this, like what would you credit? How did you get your game to really grow? Because I think everyone's journey or whatever you call it into mastering this game or getting better at this game is so different.
Yeah.
It's so wild how different it is for everyone, considering like I never took a class for like 15 years. So how did you, like, I mean, what do you, where's the credit as far as like, what do you think got you to a next level and then got you to the next level?
It happened in a few stages. It was an evolution, right? But because I knew I had a good knowledge base, right? And I knew a little bit how to manage bankroll, right? And but sometimes you can have all the knowledge you want, but if you don't get the experience, you don't have any opportunity to apply the knowledge, and the results aren't.
Dude, 1000%, man. You can keep repeating that because that's exactly. You have to get that live experience. Without live experience, that's the only way.
I started to get the live experience, right? But I wasn't having the success that I wanted to have. I realized one thing that really kind of made it for me, which finally, said, you know what? I need to be hanging around with eagles who know how to soar.
I always like that. I always like that expression, right? And then don't something with the turkeys. It's true though, right? It is true. I remember hanging out with all my idiot, dumbass friends, and then you're like, I should not be hanging out with these guys, right?
I was like, I don't have enough friends who talk craps, who know craps, who are serious about the game to the level that I would like to be serious about, right?
Yeah,
and I don't get right.
It's true though. It's true. You have to like hang out with better people that are pros or people that are at a certain level for your game to go up. It was like that as a musician, and then you start seeing people like how they practice. Like when I remember I brought this up on the podcast, but my friend was a drummer for Shakira for a long time. I always wanted him, and he ended up going with Shakira. I wanted him to, obviously I would too, probably, that for, as his job. He's more of I just remember him saying every time how he approaches drumming, I'm going for the gold, perfect time for the Olympics, but he goes for the gold medal. And when he said that, and when I realized like that's what's going through his head, my level of practice on my own became like, okay, I never want to make a mistake. So I'm on a treadmill. Oh, dude, that's Dice Coach. Hold on a second, all right?
What?
Hold on a second. Hey, Dice Coach. Hey, Dice Coach. I'm on a YouTube live right now.
Ed's quitting after October 1st or something?
I don't know what. Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I have no idea. You should call into the show, dude. I should send you the link. You should get on the show. All right. All right. Well, listen, we were just saying a lot of nice things about you. Two Seam is on the show right now, and I'm taking a call. And everyone loves you. I don't know what Ed's. We'll talk to Ed. Maybe he's just. Oh yeah, right. Yeah, right. Yeah. All right, I'll talk to you later. All right, see you. Bye. That's funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's nice that Dice Coach. I'm going to get him on, so it'll be good.
So we're talking about eagles, right? And soaring with eagles. Dice Coach was the person that said, "Hey, we're starting this Casino Tears thing. You need to go there," right?
Yeah.
and I was already in the mindset of I need to reach out and I need to find some other people to hang out with, right?
Yeah.
And I still remember I went to the Dice Experience event, the DI event for Casino Tiers in October of 25, right? So that was it was the March. I went to the March one, which was the second one you guys did, right? The second one you guys did. I went and I remember you guys were at the area and you had this Friday night meet and greet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't know anybody, right?
Yeah.
And I got up to your condo, and I knocked on the door. You opened the door and you looked at me and you said, "Who are you?" I had no idea, right? Never met before. I just said, "It's I don't know you, but you know me. I know who you are, but you don't know who I am. But I'm here for the experience," and that's it. That's how we started. Walked in and started to make friends at the Casino Tiers experience.
Yeah, man, and that was good. And just from seeing you when we had that class, I was standing next to Bo, and you were at the table, and you came so far from like those three things from seeing you just even develop. It was apparent, just on how you were how you were even manipulating and handling the dice, all the way down to the next time when we were there on that following Monday, where we had an amazing, at that time, Ed was there, Moonshine was there, you were there, Jaybird was there, Camper was there. And that was like, that was a great experience to be at a table like that. That's hot, where everyone's winning. It will change you. It sort of gives you that like this is possible. And you can make a lot of money.
Just hanging out with those guys, talking to them, talking about things I couldn't talk with anybody else. Right? There were personal things. There were stories. I was realizing, hey, it wasn't by myself, that there were a lot of people going through the same stuff, and they all had different ways of solving the same problem. And it just raised my confidence and gave me an avenue to grow my game the way I learned how to grow, right? I had opportunities, in the DI sessions to talk to Bo and talk to you, talk to, Ed, and figure out where my game needed to go. And probably the biggest thing after that first DI experience was I had a practice plan.
Yeah.
And I knew I wasn't applying my practice time, even though I was putting the time in. I wasn't really doing the right things to get my game to move to the right level. So that was step one, right? And I actually would go to the DI session. I wouldn't play for weeks. All I wanted to do was practice. I wanted to see the dice move in a certain way. I wanted to see the dice bounce off the wall a certain way. I want to hit my targets. I wanted to, what did I hit? The bone tracker. I worked on that. And only then, when I felt like I could pass my own tests and, practice to the way I had learned to practice and did it with some consistency, that I went back to the casino.
Yeah.
Which brings me to a story, if you want to hear one.
Yeah, let's do it. And then we'll, I got bumped John in the waiting room.
Okay.
To talk to him about some stuff. But yeah, I'd love to hear it.
I have a few different stories. I'm going to just,
this will not be the first, and this will not be the only time we will talk to Seam.
Well, let me tell a story. The one dice experience, the first one that I went to, right? And I remember at this particular session, there were two sessions. There was a Sunday night session, and then there was a Monday night session.
Yeah.
On the Sunday night session, all day, everybody was shooting the dice, and they were hitting ATSs and sides, and all day it was like, man, when we get to this table Sunday night, it's going to be fantastic, right? We're all going to make a lot of money, right? And of course, that Sunday night, people got the tip. No one could shoot a lick, right? I think most everybody lost money that night. And that Sunday night, it was like, holy cow, I did learn one valuable lesson that night. Was I was at the end with Bo,
Yeah.
and Bo has this patience to him, and he was like, you know, you tiptoe in the game, you be patient, you watch where you're. And I was like, man, I'm got a chance to sit here and play next to Bo. I'm gonna do what he's doing, right?
Yeah.
And I wound up missing a lot of 7 outs and quick outs because, you know, I wasn't going heavy. And then
Yeah.
at the very end, Ed came out and he had a nice toss, and I wound up
Yeah.
like not losing anything. So it was just like, that was my first lesson about don't be so eager to jump into the game.
No,
And-
we all struggle with that every single time we go. That, I mean,
Yeah.
that just happened last night. That happened to me at Palms when I went a time before with Bump John. It's that eagerness and that excitement to get in there.
And
It's
you
tough,
don't have
man.
to bet everybody. You don't have to bet everybody, right? And most of the money you make is on your own shot anyway, unless you're there with a bunch of other people, right?
Yeah.
So I'll bet myself, and I'll bet people that I know, and I'll play different when I'm, you know, there's a random or
that just comes with experience, and also
Exactly.
like a patience and a calmness to the game. But it's even for the best of us. I mean, my probably biggest weakness is going in. I get just too stoked, too excited, and you know, I have always consistently done the best when I bet on myself, bet big on myself, and it's when I've just started, you know, betting too quickly, too early on people that I probably shouldn't be betting on, that
Well,
you just want to believe in.
I find that I definitely am more I am less reactive in the game.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm more thoughtful about when I want to bet, why I want to bet, who I'm going to
Yeah.
bet on,
Yeah.
where I am with my bankroll, because because I've done it now with enough experience,
Yeah.
right? That the moments aren't too big, right? And
Yeah.
and so that is a big change in my game, and I saw that, and I when I was playing with Ed, and I was playing with you, and playing with Bo, you see it in action. You see them working, and you see, you know, and the practice and the follow through, and it's what helped me change my game.
Yeah. That's good. It's
Yeah.
come a long way, man.
Yeah, I got. I would just say one of the most memorable nights. And maybe we can finish here if you'd like.
Yeah, let's
most
do it.
memorable nights was the next night, and you actually talked about an episode. It's called the Palm Slayer episode that you had run.
Oh yeah, that was
So I was
table
there.
304. Yeah, table
Table
304. at the Palms,
I
yeah.
was there. It was all random. It all happened. You know, I happened to be at the Palms, right? The dice experience was over. I was just there hanging out, and I was sitting up at the
straight out.
straight out. I was shooting straight out from stick right, and next thing I know, you show up, and there's Ed there, and Camper comes in, and he's on my right in the turn, and Jay Bird's in there in the hook, and you're sitting at stick right one, Ed's over on stick left one, and we start playing. So great, that's cool. Let's do it again. Let's run it back, and I remember it went around the table. Ed started. It went around the table, and I don't think things were going pretty well. I got the dice, and I think I hit a side. I hit a small that night. I was throwing okay from straight out. It got to you, and you had a decent roll. And I think at that point, you maybe didn't want to shoot again. I'm not quite sure, but it went back.
No,
to
I
Ed.
didn't. I didn't want to shoot again. Ed wanted me to shoot again.
Ed wanted you to shoot, right? So it went around. So, but it was getting late, right? And you guys wanted to go, whatever you wanted to do. And Camper says to me, pass the dice. Real quiet. Pass the dice. So what? I
Yeah.
just got a small the last time. I want to shoot. Pass the dice. And
Yeah.
Ton wants the dice. I was like, oh, come on. And he's no, pass. So finally, after about the third or fourth time, I passed the dice. And then it went to Jay Bird, it went back to you. And then, fortunately, that was the beginning of one of the most epic sauce
Yeah,
hands
that was
I had
awesome.
ever seen.
That was exciting. That was super exciting. And
Oh
and
my-
another
I
great
saw you
example.
in the zone. You were in the freaking
In the
zone.
bone zone.
Oh my goodness. And
Yeah. Yeah.
and I was there to experience it, you know, front and center, right?
Yep.
What you
Jaybird and then
did.
Camper. I remember Camper said he's like that's the most I've ever had on a bet.
Now, how can I have gotten that experience if I wasn't involved with Casino Tears?
That's true.
I-
I mean, well, at least you were around like players that were all like thoughtful, like Jaybird and Camper. Like we had a great side, our side of the table, and we were given like I remember we were giving you like even pointers on like some stuff to do, to not do, and especially to just like keep this game going because that's the most important thing. It's like, well, in this case, maybe pass the dice because not everyone has to shoot and even when Ed was saying, "Oh, I want you to shoot," cool. If Ed wants me to shoot, I'll shoot. I could have easily not shot, but I was on. I knew I was on. I was telling everyone I'm hitting tens, hard tens. And for Ed, I hit those sixes all in a row. But those were good. That's a great experience. And then you had down at the other end, you had Wisco, you had Moonshine, and Ed. I mean, geez, man, this table was like that's a great little table to have. It was just enough people.
Just enough people. But it was, you know, the way you acted at the table, the etiquette at the table, the communication at the table, the you know, maybe what this game could be, right, in its purest form from a player perspective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Wisco's still in the chat. Yeah, see, that's what it was cool. I loved when we walked into that Palms. It was just Wisco and Moonshine at that table. And then I was like, sweet. Stuff like that when it happens just really organically. I'm like, okay, awesome. These guys are here. I can get stick right one. And then, I don't know. I think you came up, right? Were you there? I don't know if you were there before me.
I was there. And, you know, this Wisco was in the other class. So I didn't really know him.
Yeah.
We were just hanging out. You know, we just happened.
I'm gonna have Wisco on. I'm gonna have Wisco on to talk to him about Chicago and Wisconsin and that whole area, Illinois, and so Wisco, you know, that's coming down the road. But yeah, that was a really good experience. That ideally, it's like what you wish every crap session should be like, or could be like. You know, at least you're with players that you know are all, you know, thoughtful.
But how did you get there, right? That's the sweet zone. How do you get locked in? How do you stay locked in? What do you do when they try to knock you out of being locked in, right? What, you know, all the things that happen at the craps table that, you know.
What in that case, there really wasn't anything because the crew was good. Everything was good. Everything was like functioning really well. And our side of the table was being managed. Jaybird, Camper, it was really good. I know Jaybird was doing some custodial managerial.
He was policing. He was.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So that was it was good. And everyone usually has. Hopefully, you keep having those and having those and having those, and I think those come around more and more as you keep playing. And yeah, Wisco was right. The suits did start to gather. There were like, that's what I remember, and I think that's one of the only things that took me out of that game was looking at those guys, all three of them, who I didn't know now, but. Yeah.
I think how many hard tens did you hit that night? That
I had a lot, but that table somehow just like keeps providing hard tens for me on that table with that set. It just is one of those things. It's sort of like that's a very specific table. I don't know why, just happens. But now Two-Seam, I'm glad you were there. That was cool, and I'm looking forward to. I mean, hopefully everyone enjoyed this table, dude, which was awesome to see, man. You know, I mean, let me see if I don't even, here it is. Dude, that table is great, dude. So I can't wait to see other people's rigs and stuff like that. But so Two-Seam, thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome. It was great. You know, I can say that I really like where my craps game is, and it's always room for improvement. But you know, I'm doing playing more consistently, and I'm much more happier with the way things are going. So
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's good, man. I mean, it's like that's all it takes is just consistency and practice and keep taking steps, and you're just going to get better.
And leadership and being able to find the people who know what they're talking about, right? And
yeah, that crazy guy that just called me. So,
yeah, like Bo, exactly.
Yep. So, all right, man.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, later, Tusim. Appreciate it, man. I'll see you soon.
Okay. Bye.
Tusim, ladies and gentlemen, legend. That's nice that he had the big tuna in there. His wife was chiming in. It's good. Tusim's a good guy. All right, ETG. I'm going to have Bump John on in a second because I want to talk to him about a few things. Little live look at Vegas right now. Oh, sweet. The Aria camera just panned in there. And a little rainy, cold night tonight. Pretty sweet, though. All right, I'm going to get Bump John in here. I agree. ETG, let's run with this Bump John thing right now. I hope he's ready, man. I hope Bump John. Oh, yeah, here he is. Bump John, I'm going to add this for you. I created this special thing, or ETG did. Oh, my God. Bump John. Bump John.
How's it going?
Dude. Everyone, this is my craps playing partner here. Number one in the crew here. Bump John, I don't tell you enough that how thankful I am that that you took that first experience, because you and I go play. You're just like everyone needs a Bump John in their life. They really do, because the great thing about it is that you and I have like just been tracking roles together, and we talk about stuff. I think, going on from like continuing that conversation from Tusim, dude, having someone that you can go to the casino with and play this game with and talk about with repeatedly is so helpful. Not just like but like you're there. It's a difference when you're talking about a session and someone isn't there, but you're there, you're with me. You were there with me last night. You're going to be out tonight. We're going out tonight later on, probably 11:30, and we're going to meet Mr. Pressett, and we're going to hit the, Paris. Then tomorrow we're going to go out and we're going to hit Venetian for the first time. It's going to be sweet, dude. And the nice thing about having you there is that we can bounce things off of each other. It was like when Moonshine was here, it's just like minds, like thinking about the game, approaching the game with the goal. There's a little more of a scientific approach, right? Of how do we crack the code to this?
And I wouldn't say like minds either, because you and I got totally different views on how to play, but we also agree on some things. So I think that's good. We're able to bounce those ideas off of each other.
Yeah, but the main thing we agree on is A, we want to win money, and B, it's about we're strictly really talking about, forget about our betting systems. That's where we disagree, that we veer away from each other. We're in two different worlds. But it's really the approach of you know, how we're shooting just because we're tracking and the tendencies that come with it. I
Mhm.
mean, you don't have to. We're definitely not carbon copies of each other, and we have completely different playing styles.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, how would you describe your playing style?
I've got two different playing styles, really, depending on what my bankroll's like.
Yeah.
And we'll get to this later. Yesterday, I was playing the wrong style for my bankroll. You know, when I'm short on funds and I've got a short stack, I'm usually playing really conservatively. Sometimes I'll go out there with just a pass line. And
Dude,
try
I
to-
gotta see what
to-
Moonshine said. Ladies and gentlemen, we present you the man, the myth, the stat keeper, Mr. He's the original Ken.
I should have wore that shirt tonight for
I know.
Moonshine.
You should have wore that.
And next Thursday, I'll
Listen,
rock
dude,
my
I don't
picture.
understand what happened with last night. I don't understand.
Yeah.
We went over
We'll,
all the
we'll,
rules.
we'll get into that.
Okay. Well, you're playing okay. Sum up your batting style, because
I
it's
mean,
similar to a lot of people.
I've got a really conservative style where I'm just playing a pass line, or maybe I'll play a pass line in a 6-8. And that I'm just trying to stay at the table as long as I can. And I'm just trying to nurse the short stack I've got. And then I've got a style that's kind of like Mr. Pressett, that's hyper aggressive. You know, you've got your 10-ton 2-hit takedown, but you're going from a $150 6 or 8 to 300, and then you're
Right.
taking it down.
Yeah.
Versus, if I'm saying I'm starting at $18 on the 6 and 8, my next hit I'm pressing it up. I'm power pressing to 42, and then I'm going from 42 to 90, and then I'm collecting $105, and I'm not taking it down, because I figure I've already got my money's worth out of it. And so when I've got more of a bankroll, I'm pretty aggressive like that. And that's kind of what I was doing last night. I shouldn't have, with a $1,500 bankroll on a $50 table. You can't be aggressive, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
live and you learn.
were. Yeah. And that was one of those learning things, because rarely do you even, I was surprised.
I usually don't like to play a $25 table.
No, but that's the thing. So we played a 50. You want to talk? Should we talk about that then?
Did we want to talk about that, or do we want to talk about tracking first?
All right, let's talk about
Can we get
tracking,
it?
dude. Let's
Okay.
talk about tracking, because you want to see a picture, Bump John, of these trackers. You've never seen
Yeah.
the final form, but I'll show you. I'll give you a little quick sneak peek of these things. Fucking sweet, huh? Oh, can I swear on this? No.
I think on a live stream you can.
Yeah.
You're
These
not,
things
you're
are
not
great,
monetized.
dude.
Oh, you got your
these-
pencils in, huh?
Oh man, got the pencils in. These things are great. They're just awesome.
Can you zoom in on that the logo you got? Is that just your
No, that's yeah, I gotta zoom in. I don't know how to zoom in on this thing, but listen, man. That's a little sneak peek on those, but you helped me so many iterations of that sheet that's in there. And
we've gone through probably 5.
more than that, dude. Which date? I'm gonna put some of these up on screen, man. But which date do you want to go through, man?
The big one is probably where we should start. I think that was the 27th.
Let me see. Share window. The 27.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, this is okay. So this is an early version of this.
This is an early version. It's probably our
Okay.
second or third version.
Okay, so I'm gonna add this here. Okay, so check. So and Bumpchon, I can even write on this now. So this is a very early version of how we came up with this. And so I'm just going to go at the top. We had, date, casino, table number, all important stuff. This table number is really important to go back and see. You basically right here, this is where we have, what we started with, 6K, what we net right here. And then we have right underneath, we have a little key, P for point, W winner, H hard way. The circle right here, total number of rolls, that's you'd see here. You would always total these up after a shooter, and we'll get into that. And all tall, small, repeater fire. Anyway, again, this was an early version.
Yeah.
It's larger. We experienced with larger cells, you know.
This was definitely easier to use
because the cells were larger.
Yeah.
Because
but we would go through a lot of these on
a
long roll.
Yeah, because there's only 12. You can really only go through like 24 or 22. I think there's either 11 or 12, and they're not numbered, so you can't see it. But this is how, and then we had, so this is going to be this. What is this? This is
that's who's shooting. So that's Moonshine.
Oh, this is Moonshine. Oh,
you
had this tracker when Moonshine was here?
No, what I did is I took an old tracker and I took one of our things so we could see this. I didn't go back and find old trackers. So I found a blank tracker and I just transcribed it.
So right here, so Moonshine let off that. You know what? Well, Moonshine's awesome, but whatever. This was
that's an aberration.
This is it. Yeah, this is an aberration. Moonshine. Sorry, I didn't even know I wasn't. All right, but leads off.
I didn't mean to call you out like
leads off with a hard 6, and this H right here with a point, and that's your code for that.
Yeah.
10.
And go back up to the top there.
Yeah.
So that's Moonshine.
Yeah.
And then usually next I'll put either
stick
the
position
or the set. I usually do the set and then the position.
Yeah.
But,
and this was a 2-1-1-3.
Right. Yes.
Stick right too. I remember this night now. I remember this night. This is not pre-planned anyway. I don't know. He just sent me these. Then I shot stick right 1. And again, because this set was something that was a set that I don't normally shoot with, but decided with. And I even said, go easy. This was the 4-2-2-4. So, this is way easier to read, not crowded. I wish we had put numbers down the side right here. But, either way, it was a crap 7 winner. So that's what this W for. And then our first point right here, 6. And then when you going down, well, you made the 6 right here. And that's why you put a square on it.
Yeah.
This square. And it was hard. So that's why this H is here. Another crap. Man, this is a good roll. I like this roll already. 9 is the point right here. That's P. And then a couple rolls later. I don't know why you have the 6 here. Maybe it was at another.
Yeah, maybe the point was 9. I don't know why
6. Point was 9 anyway. Then, point made right here. So anyway, it's really nice. What's nice about this, and I've seen some other guys track, is having both die here is so important for tracking. The only thing that could really make this better is if you actually knew what left and right die were.
I do for your shots most of the time. I'm able to track most of your shots. Every once in a while, they'll hit like together and they'll explode, and it's hard to track them. But for the most part, I know left and right on your shot. My shot, I'm not as good at tracking.
Yeah. So, and this is an aside, but when I was saying like you pay attention and you review and be aware, well, this is nice because what I remember is like my dominant hard way with that set was here's like, I'm going to a hard 6. Guess what? Here's another hard 6. You don't see any other hard ways. So I'm obviously going to be betting on that hard 6, right? That's going to determine how I'm betting, right? What else do you see? Obviously, you see another 6, another 6. Just in this, you're seeing 4 6s, but look at what else you see. The other dominant numbers, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
I actually
had a bump
think
on 9.
This might be the night where we decided to go heavy on the 10.
No, this was not. This wasn't that night.
This wasn't that
no,
night.
This was not that night because it was a 4-2-4-2 set, dude. So 6s and 9s were really the numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just a nice distribution. I can't believe I didn't make them all with clearing out the 3, the 12, the 11. Man, I should have hit them all. I didn't. Right?
You might have, because I
Here's the
only
tall. No, dude,
I
here's
only
the T.
transcribed.
Here's
Yeah.
the T for the tall. So right there, the tall was hit, and then obviously 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm obviously missing the aces. That's one of the times when I couldn't roll aces over 100 rolls.
Well, you could have
But-
on the next page, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. So
I can't remember exactly if you hit it that night or not.
So let's go to so Bump John, let's go to I'm gonna go to the next I'm gonna go to the I'm gonna add
I think
a
29, I think is.
you want to go to 29 to our next
It's the one with the numbers on it.
yeah. No, so this is so for everyone in chat, this is the next. This is our next version. Okay. It looks a little better, but it's got when we've steered away from this, and I think who was helpful with this is G-Dub, because I think G-Dub sent me something or showed me, and I asked him about this, where he had the numbers listed with point and point made. Problem is that you and I in theory kind of like it, but it's a little too tight and too crowded having those in there. So
yeah, especially if you hit a point and you hit a hard way, it's it's hard
these
to
right here. Like let me get like right here. This whole point and point made. We found those not really efficient or useful, but having the numbers listed is helpful.
That was very helpful. Yeah.
That's cool to help to add it on there. So we've gotten rid of that. These are obviously smaller cells, and here you could see, still got the important stuff with some notes, a key here, stick position, buy-in, win-loss. So this buy-in 5K. What's this?
That was my buy-in. I only had $125.
Oh, I like it. That's how you do it with two people. So buying 5, I bought in 5K, you bought in 125. I won 37, and you broke
and I broke even.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
that was the night I was just doing the pass line.
Yeah. And so this was stick right one. If you could see this name of the shooter, we have left, right, total, and key. So set 5665 right here. And hopefully I can zoom in. Hopefully everyone can see that. But yeah, like I start out, what's that? 2-roller. Man, that was an epic roll, Bump John, a 2-roller. Pure perfection right there. Point is 10, PSO. So, and that's why this is circled here. That number is 2. And then we go into you right here. And with your initial here and your set and your stick position, stick left 1, 1, 5, 5, 6 is what you were shooting. Yeah. Dude, you had a nice. And so you ripped off 9. Yep. Hard way. Hard. Yep. Nice, man. Hard 10. Hard 8 right here. Yeah. And obviously, dude, I don't like these either. I don't like with the points and the points made. I don't like those.
If we went to 2 columns on this format, like the size of that first one, it probably would be better. But then we run into the same issue we had with that first one, with just not enough.
Yeah. And I'm going to answer ATS under how many times a week do we play? Dude, it varies. It varies with what's going on. And the nice thing about like going to the podcast only twice a month and doing lives is that it's going to free up more time for me to actually play instead of me being a slave to editing, which it has been great, because like I said, when Moonshine came out, it was awesome because now I'm not stressing. We can go out and, we can have some of these sessions, which are obviously going to be late nighters. Dude, let's go to the next one, man. Let me go. What one do you want me to go to?
The last one will be the 28th.
All right. This is where we've ended up on,
Mhm.
which I love. This is where I love this one, dude. Okay, I'm very happy with this, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like everything about it is just, it's just nice and clean. I mean, it is on the smaller side, but dude, we get 63 rolls on this sheet.
Mhm.
You know?
And I think we had discussed going two-sided with this.
I'm not the printing aspect with ETG. And by the way, this is non-glossy. What is it? It's hey ETG. It's not,
like
what's the term
cardstock.
for this? It's cardstock, but it's matte. It's matte cardstock so that it takes the pencil well, and it, you know, it's easy to write on. And that, I mean, having matte over glossy is key. And these are, you know, these are like thick pieces of paper. I mean, they're good for this. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously you could take this and you could do regular pieces of paper, but this is nice. I mean, these are like legit pieces of paper, you know? And so, and they're just cut up and you get 63 rolls on this, which is nice. I mean, Bump John, what do we go through? Maybe 2 a session, if that?
Usually 2.
Yeah.
I think
That's
once
120.
or twice.
Yeah.
Once or twice we've had maybe
Hope-
3.
Ideally you want to, but yeah. So if you look at this, okay, so this is Paris again. Table, stick position, 1 loss. Okay, that's another 3,000 win. You won with 535 right here. This was with obviously still with Moonshine. Okay, so then we went to 4 roller, 7 roller. You could see these circles right here. This is how you always total them up.
Yeah.
You know, and then who had this 22
like on
roller,
that-
dude?
You can see on that
Moonshine.
line 2.
Dude, this is so Moonshine ripped off a 22 roller here.
Mhm.
This is sweet.
Which is more standard for him.
Yeah, way more standard.
You see
This
more
is
22 rollers from
this is clutch, man. And he was still shooting that same set, so you didn't have to note it. But the 2-1-1-3, and then look at 2-2. Look at, oh my god, dude! Look at how many 11s Moonshine hit. 1, 2, 3, 4 11s in the first.
And you weren't doing your
I know.
your
4
Spartan
11s in the first 7 rolls. And dude, if you look it out to the 8, 3 5s, that's insane. Like going back and looking at this stuff, like it's different from when it's happening. Yeah, that's yeah. So obviously, you know, that's great. Hard for, you know, I think then he makes his point on his 9th roll. That's sweet. So and then he buckshots his point right here with an 8. So obviously just crushing 5s. Look at all these 5s, dude. You know? And then I think, oh, sweet, man. Did I get up there and and did I have another 2 PSO? Hey, listen, when the guy next to you is rolling 22, that's, I'll own it right there. And then,
I should have made you look better and went and found the sheets where you had 30 rolls.
yeah. That's okay. That's okay. But that's awesome, man. And then, so this is what we've settled on, Bump John. And I do like this. I'm pretty happy with this. It's got some notes. It's got everything that you'd want. You can add in your keys in here. Obviously the squares are going to be for your point made, right? You have the squares.
Squares are point made. I'll underline the point. Like if you look up on line 2, I underlined that 9 there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
there's going to be variations on this, but I mean, the squares are always going to be point made, and then you circle the total at the end. And having numbers here makes it easy to total up and review. And like I said, these things aren't they're crisp. They're nice. So that's what we got going, man. I love these trackers, Bump John. I really do. And
I like them, and it allows us to see like what we're rolling so we know what to bet on. I don't know if you talked about it. I didn't watch last week's live stream. Did you talk about that session where we decided to go heavy on the 10?
I don't know yeah, I did. And that's based off of our, very rudimentary analysis of what's happening during a roll. And that's why going out with someone that's doing this, or hopefully your memory, because I'll have a rough idea. That's just how my brain is wired now. I can almost tell you, like I was saying, I told you last night, this is what he rolled. Boom, 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 boom. And then you should all be able to do that. Again, drinking is going to be detrimental to that. Did we answer ATS Hunter's question of how often we play? I think.
I
mean,
don't
this
know if
week's going to be a lot.
Yeah, it's usually 3 to 5 times a week we're out.
But we've gone stretches where it hasn't been, depending on.
Yeah,
work.
yeah, we went almost a month without playing.
Yeah.
Beginning of the year.
Yeah. So that stuff. So that's pretty cool. But Bump John, this is what I wanted to. This is what I want to talk about, and it's going to be one of. Yeah, dude. This about last night, dude. I already talked about it earlier when you weren't on.
Yeah.
Okay. Bump John, Justice, Original Ferret, and Mr. Pressett. We were all at a table last night, man. And you forgot your tracker. So
I forgot my tracker. It was a shit show from the start.
Yeah, I'm gonna let me see. Sure. Check this out. Let me get rid of. All right, this is what we got. So this is for everyone that's still here. This is what happened when you got in the car and you were like, I forgot the book. Right?
Left it on my coffee.
Yeah. So this session's pretty important though. So you ended up getting some paper, and this is what your tracking looks like on a regular sheet of paper that you got from Michael LaFleur. All right. Yeah. So there's a lot of key takeaways on this that I think's important. This is how I look at some points that you can get from what we did last night. So what's the first thing you notice about this, Bump John?
Well, let's back up a little bit. As we were walking in, we decided to have like a little pregame brief, and we were discussing. I have 4 rules.
Yeah,
and I added a 5th one to it now.
Yeah, well, all right. I'm giving you the spotlight, Bump John. What are the rules? Let's hear them.
So the rules are: number 1, be patient.
Nice. I have no graphics for this.
Number 2,
you.
No FOMO, no fear of missing out. So you sit there and you watch a long roll and you're itching to bet, but because you don't want to miss out on a long roll. So you want to bet on every shooter, but that's when you get in trouble. Be satisfied. You get up, you decide what your win goal is, and you hit your win goal, you leave instead of going, well, I made $1,000 on my first roll. What if I stuck around a little longer and I made $2,000? So if you're patient, or if you're satisfied, walk away.
Yeah, Bump John, you're one of the more disciplined players that I've played with in general.
Sometimes.
So last night was an anomaly for you for basically breaking all those rules, and I
broke every rule. Well, not satisfied. I didn't
break a single rule last night, which is rare. But I think there's the takeaways that I look at is how quickly you can make money and recover. And I was lucky. Look at these rolls. These rolls are not great. Okay. Yeah. The biggest roll here in this is 11 right here. Okay.
Yeah. Mr. Pressett had a decent roll.
Okay. So let's just look at this. I bought in for 10K. You bought in for 1,500 right here. Let me just add this add this to the screen. Okay. Let's go here. Okay. Right here. So 10K right up top here. And then 15, and you bought in for 1,500. I left up 1,000. You left in the
1,000.
hole 1,220. Normally that doesn't happen like that. You never lose that big. You don't.
Rarely lose that big.
Rarely. But
Yeah.
look at this is a typical session, man. Look at these rolls. 6,
Yeah.
2, 2. Okay.
Mhm.
11, the biggest roll. Here's my great roll. 3.
Well, let's
Right?
go back. Let's go back to that first roll by Justice. This is the first roll I broke.
This
Justice
is
had
no, this is Mr. Prussitt.
no the roll underneath it, that PSO right there.
Oh,
by
right
Justice.
here. Yep.
He had a great roll. The roll
Epic.
before that,
Epic.
and he
That-
had
and
a roll, and he had a roll before that. You know, when we first got there, he was in the middle
Justice
of a roll.
Justice was destroying this table, man. He
Yeah.
was destroying before we got there. We were not betting on him.
So, you know,
His
I'm
shot
up
looked so cool,
probably-
dude. Bump John, his shot looked so cool, man. He was
Yeah.
stick left like 1.5, 2, and he would
Yeah.
stare down. He's really tall. He would get up over it, and he would
looking
just
over
like,
his glasses.
and then he had some, but man, he had some wicked spin on it, which surprised me. He had a great
And
roll.
he had a landing zone that was, you know, maybe a foot away from the wall,
Yeah.
but it was working, you know.
Yeah, man. You just don't question it. The guy was in the zone.
It was a sniper.
Yeah, he was, man. He was really in the zone. So this, and of course, what would everyone say? It's why I didn't want to. It's why I didn't want to shoot. The dice were coming to me. I think after Justice's big roll.
Like 3 people passed. There
And
was
I
that
didn't
don't
want-
player he passed.
Yeah, but they passed it, and I didn't want it.
Yeah.
I'm like, good luck following this up. This was an epic roll, and so you did. I mean, and of course, like, you know, he had an epic roll, and then you had I think you PSO'd, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, if we continue down, dude, how are you going to you can't make money on this, especially, I mean, this is a classic lesson in what Bo would say as far as, you know, weight one
Well, I would say this is where I started breaking my rules.
right here.
You know, just had that long roll before. He had 2 long rolls before. So he goes in there, has, you know, he sets the point on 9. So I go out 220 inside. I might have gone 320 across, you know,
yeah.
because I had the FOMO. I didn't want to miss out on his epic roll. So I was going to make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
And then he PSOs. And then there was a player who I wasn't recording the rolls, who was that Catfish guy.
Yep.
He went on an epic roll between Justice and I.
Yeah. And I didn't bet
And
on him. I bet
He went on
him
that
at the
one. Yeah,
end.
he hit the all, and you didn't bet on it. I ended
the one
up
time because
after-
I hated him. I just didn't like.
After he hit-
like.
after he hit the all, I went out there and got a $60 6 and 8, or maybe a $90 6 and 8, and
Well,
lost money.
Bump John, do you know when he needed the tall and I wasn't on the tall, and I'm going, oh my God, the one time I don't bet the ATS
Mhm.
because I'm feeling like just because I didn't like how he was throwing the dice,
Yeah.
and he had a short roll the first time. So I'm like, you
Yeah,
know what?
it
I'm
was
not
like
going to bet.
three rolls.
And I always say, why not take a flyer? Take a
Mm-hmm.
flyer. And that could be it. If I had just taken that $75 flyer, dude, I would have been done. Mr.
Would have been a
Pressett,
different story.
Mr. Pressett made like $4 or $5 grand on it. And I could have easily made that, but I was just like, I was too in my feelings or something that I didn't like him. My mistake. So then all of a
Yeah,
sudden
he
I'm like,
he bought it mid roll.
yeah, because I didn't like him because
At
he
least
bought
the
in.
point was off. He bought in like in the middle of Justice's big roll.
Yeah. So I didn't like him. And
Mhm.
and then of course I don't bet on because I should have just taken the flyer. That's what I mean with the ATS is
Mhm.
sometimes it's worth the raffle ticket on if I'm playing a low limit, $30, and then I can just let it ride, and then I could have a drink, I can just drink and talk, whatever. $30. And this is a classic example. The only time I didn't play the ATS last night on this roll. And I regret it deeply, because that was like found $5,000, that could have been there. Instead clears the small. And then I'm looking at or he's going to make, I think he just needs to make the 10 for all of them. I've got the original ferret laying it. I complimented him on the lay, by the way, because it was a smart lay. He laid it with all the money that he had left. I think he had like $800 off. Dude, I don't think you realize, like, I loaded up. I mean, I put $400 on that 10. I thought I put 500. I'm like, this guy is going to hit it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I put, and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and not get anything from this. This guy's going to hit the 10, right? You could just feel it. So I put 400. I thought I put 500, but it was 400 on the 10. And then I put, like, I don't know, $100 at least on the hard 10, going, okay, I won't feel as bad when he makes all of them. At least I'll get something. I didn't lay it. I'm like, I'm going for it. And he hit it. So that was 800 plus whatever I had on it. So it was a little consolation prize, but I screwed up royally by letting by letting me, I'll show him, I won't bet on him. Stupid. It was like easy to invest at $75 on him. And because I was doing it with everyone else. But anyway, so by the time we get to Mr. Pressett's roll, though, dude, where are you right now? I mean, you've just
I am down probably about 500 of Mr. Pressett's roll.
Okay, Mr. Pressett, though, then comes out with an 11, which was, I mean, that might as well have been, an 80 roller at that point, given what we were doing.
Yeah, and I made a fair amount of money, but this is where I decided to add rule number 5. And Bo talks about this all the time, and we've talked about it. And I ignored my gut. Right after that 3, and second to the last roll there, I had probably $600 out.
You mean my roll?
No, Mr. Pressett's roll.
Yep.
He rolled a 3, and my gut told me to turn off my bets. And Jonathan,
right here,
the dealer, Jonathan, the dealer, even looked directly at me. I guess he could see that I was thinking.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to say anything, because Mr. Pressett already had the dice, and so I didn't want to screw him up.
Yeah.
And so I didn't turn off my bets, and I should have. I would have had an extra $600 right there.
Yeah, I mean, these are, what could have been. I mean, sometimes you got to go with your gut, right?
Yeah.
And you didn't. And sometimes, you're just praying for that. See, I just ripped right through that. But this is what I brought up with John. And this is what I meant by paying attention, and why I think that is so important. It's so important. It's so important. Mr. Pressett always throws hard 6s, and Bump John, I went over to you and I said,
yeah, you told me.
I told you, right? It's none of this stuff I make up. Look at this, dude. Mr. Pressett's roll right here. Let's take a look at this. See this? He has a 6 roller. His only hard way is a 6. But keep in mind, he was doing this the last session too. Whatever his set is, he throws.
He's throwing across 6.
Yeah, he throws.
Oh, it looks like I have up there 6-2, 6-3.
6-2, 6-2. He throws hard 6s. So I'm in the whole 1500 right now. I only bet $50 on the 9, 50 on the 10, 300 on the 6, and then a 300 hard 6. And he bangs out on his 4th roll. This roll was the money shot roll for me. But I was expecting that. I really was expecting it. It's not like I jumped up and down. And I mean, so 300 hard 6, right? $2,700. I've got 350 coming to me on the place bet. That's $3,000. This one roll changed my entire session. And I still credit it to paying attention because I had the luxury of seeing him shoot so many times and the time before and knowing that that's his dominant hard way. I believe in that stuff, whether or not other people do. It's why I'm not out there betting hard sixes on myself, right, Bump John?
Right.
You know, from tracking.
But you're gonna hop the hard 10 on the come out.
Yeah. And
I can't tell you how many times I've seen you do it, and the dealers are always amazed.
But in chat, listen to this. After he hit this, so now I'm positive. I'm up like $1,700. I know, and I already talked about this to John. I'm locking up $1,000. I'm leaving profitable, and now I'm betting 700. But all of on this point, after he made his point of 5, I had my hard 6 was now up to 500, and my 6 place bet was up to 450, right? So I was hopping the hard 6. I think I was hopping it for like $50, just so I wouldn't lose, just in case right here, if he hits a 6, right? That's the case to hop the 6 right there, because you're so loaded up. The last thing you want to do is, have your hard ways off on the come out, which it was $500, but I want to get something if he throws that, Yep. So, and then that was that. And then Bump John, and then I got up finally my first toss, a big 3 roller, and I used $400 of that I had left to bet on myself, and then I called it. I was done right here. Like right here is, I was hoping for a better roll, and I only shot once. I wish I could, but I mean, that was discipline right there. This whole thing was, I was extremely happy with how I played last night because I was not betting across. I was only betting a few numbers. I never went crazy. And I was thrilled to leave up $1,000. Dude, I was so happy. And then I called it, and I wanted to bet on you, dude. I really wanted to bet because you're up next. You are up next, and I know what you're capable of, but it was too important for me just to get another win and stack wins. And I'm just, that's what I mean. There was no FOMO. There was kind of a little FOMO, but there was no FOMO.
Yeah. Yeah, no. And you were satisfied. You had your $1,000, you were up 1,000.
Yep.
And you colored up. I think you were at the cage when I had 6.
Yeah, I went, I left. I listen, I would have loved for you to have a massive roll. I was surprised that you were down. But
yeah,
here's the other key takeaway for any of you that can go out with someone is that we are analyzing this to death. We will go home and when on the right, what did we do wrong? I don't think that's when I was playing craps a long time ago, I never had these thoughts. I would either be going home angry or happy. It was never or wasted, but I was never really deep into the analysis of the game that I am now and really approaching it with a confidence I think we were talking about earlier, but having the confidence, I think it was with Two Seam, we have the confidence of crushing this game. And I think that's what you get as a player. And that's the people you want to hang out with. You want to feel confident. When Moonshine's there next to me, I have confidence in this guy. I have confidence in you that you're just going to absolutely destroy it because I've seen it. I know, that I can hit those numbers when it's on, right? We've seen it. And that's what I mean. We're not crazy.
Yeah. Well, that's the second part of the tracker. It's not just a tracker, it's a track and analyze.
Yeah.
That's what we do after we track. We'll talk about it during the session, but we always, I'll drop you off and we'll sit there and we'll park and you'll ask me, hey, how many 6s did I get? How many hard 10s did I get? We'll sit there.
I don't know who Casting TV 777 is. Maybe that could be Justice. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's either Justice or Mr. Pressett, but I don't know. Man, but that's awesome that you're even here watching. because you're in Vegas. We're going to meet up with you tonight for sure. Yeah. So Bump John, I mean, we're just going to adjust tonight. That's the other thing. Tonight, we're going to go out. We're going to not make any of these mistakes. We're going to stack wins. We're going to stack this win, but play cautious. And the all four of us have completely different playing styles. I mean, you also, the other thing I'd like to say is sometimes you got to just try to not be influenced by what other people are doing. You know what, dude, John, last time when Moonshine was there, we had I think there was this guy, was Moonshine there? This guy that bought in for like 10 G's, dude. And he was betting hundreds on all the hard ways and across black chips. People like that almost influence me in a negative way, because I'm like, holy shit, this guy could like has the potential to really like make a ton of money. I'm not doing that, but this guy lost all of it because it's such a dangerous short-term strategy that I'm always like, I'm really only betting one hard way and a couple numbers versus all of it. But that scatter shot approach, I mean, he ended up losing it all. Whereas, you know, I'm still trying to stay in the game, but I get that almost that FOMO. You know what I mean? Like, oh my God, this guy's going to make all this money, but you got to put blinders on and just play your game, play your game, play your game. Right, Bump John?
Right.
All right, man. You got anything else? You got anything else for us besides you are the best tracker? Everyone needs a Bump John. I should have a song. There's got to be a song like that. Everybody needs a Bump John something. I know that's a song. I'll figure it out tonight.
You'll figure it out.
Yeah.
It's got to have a groovy
This is
bass.
Casting TV 777. I'm a guy out of Texas. I play Louisiana, Oklahoma. Nice, man. Nice. Yeah, that's cool. We were talking about Louisiana, man, and the fish farmers that were there. And we were talking about Etouffee and how that guy that I said looked like Dick Cheney.
Dick Cheney.
Dude, there was a guy like, doesn't he look like Dick Cheney? And then I telling him about Etouffee, and he's like, it's because of the butter. I wish I could do a Louisiana accent.
Butter,
He's just
butter,
butter. That's all he said. So, all right, dude. Bump John, man. It's 9 o'clock. Been on for a while. What do you say? Next week. I'm gonna the next time I'm on, which is next week, we're gonna have Ed. We're gonna do a regular show, and then the next time I'll get Eddie Money on, which I wanted to have Eddie Money on tonight. It didn't work. Everything was just chaos, dude. I'll get better at this stuff. Bump John, this is gonna be your thing. Yeah.
That's Johnny Vegas.
Yeah, man. So I'll figure it all out, man. Okay. And I'll see you tonight, probably 11:30 is when we'll head out.
Yeah, no earlier than that. We need to wait for the crowds to die out.
I've got all these banners. Listen, I'll end up figuring out all this stuff and making the show a little better. But I appreciate everyone that stuck around and that watched. Hopefully it was Bump John, I'm hoping that people can experience like what it's like to be like when we go out, or like when we went out with Moonshine, or when we have the really small groups, not like the big groups, which are totally a different beast.
Yeah.
But I hope that like people can experience what that's like, because you really feel like you're going there and I feel like I believe we can take money from these casinos and we can win money. And I mean, the deck is stacked against us, but hopefully we can just go in there. And if we do follow our rules and play disciplined and play whatever our game is under control, we can. And we're lucky because we live here. So we can leave and go, you know what, 1,000 was enough, or sometimes $100, because we know we can come back out here. And that's
even breaking even, if we're grinding,
Yeah.
you know, and we're down and we get back to even. You know,
So
we can walk away.
Bump John, stay with me till the end because I'm going to do a little of this. Oh, dude, I didn't even do this. So many good things that I didn't. We got to make shirts for that, man. We got to make shirts. And then I do like this thing, which I'm going to do right now. Dude, I'm going to check the chat, okay? God, Viking Jim, James A is here, man. I can't wait for James A to come back out. You know, not a lot of people are doing the Patreon challenge. Just remember,
it's a new year. I can do James A again.
You know, you can always do that. You should be doing that. You would have won. And then, so yeah, Grasshopper, thank you. Yeah. Then PNW Dice, that's awesome. Yes. So we're going to keep this H2O guy. You know what? I had a great conversation with H2O in Horseshoe when we were talking about 4s and 10s. I'll always remember that. 4s and 10s, man. H2O guy. And then thanks to Two Seam, thanks to Ian. Oh, dude. Tim Sum. Dude, what a handle. I love Tim Sum's handle. And yeah, and Hoppin' Houdini. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so Bump John, let's go kill it tonight. And we'll just wrap it up, dude. All right. We'll keep this thing going and we'll hopefully talk about a session next time. We're going to Venetian. We're going to Venetian on Friday and Saturday.
Friday and Saturday, right?
Yeah, and I'm gonna. So I've got. Little announcement, sneak peek, and I'll end up talking to Ed about this. But we're going to. I'm gonna go meet Okram Polo there. So I can finally connected with my host that I had set everything up. So I'm gonna go there, stay there. I'm gonna do a little review of the Venetian because I haven't played there. And BRB, yep, nice, man. And so I'll be able to add in a little more as we get going, a little more content about what I'm experiencing in Vegas because it's true. I mean, I live here, like I'm right here. There might as well be talking to other players about what's going on, and ideally having more news for players that are coming here. So that's like. I'm going to slowly, I don't know how that's going to evolve, but it'll evolve into that. You approve that?
I approve of everything you do.
And we have Bush. We will find Bush tonight. Okay. All right, Bump John, I'll talk to you later, dude. Thanks for everyone for hanging out. Okay. You want to see a little movie ETG made, Bump John? Anyone sticking around? Check it out, dude. Sick, right? Lots of little things, man.
Yeah.
Double Deuce. Figure out your internet so we can get you back on and talk about Seattle. But the next one up is going to be BRB. I'm going to talk about New England with BRB. Cool deal? Later, Bump John.
Later.
All right. ETG. ETG, guess what? Take it easy, guys. Thanks a lot.